Hey, bro.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
hey man. Good, good.
It's good.
Lucky I fucking dressed up for the occasion.
Looking all pretty.
Yeah.
No, dude, I was being
Hey,
wanting to say for you for a minute, man. I loving the beard. It actually looks really good on you.
yeah, thanks, bro. I haven't had one ever. I've never had one, never let it go. So um yeah, it's good. I'm liking it. And I got it like shaped properly as well. So it's
Yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah. I'm kind of jealous. Like yours looks a lot thicker, like through here, like a lot here where mine's still growing a bit. I like it. It looks good.
yeah, man. I had it like I wasn't doing anything, so I was just leaving it and then seeing what happened, and it was like fucking just blowing out on the sides. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a bit shit. So I got it like shaped
Yeah,
properly and
tied it up.
yeah, way better. Yeah,
No,
so
because
I
I
look
remember.
as just in full circle face. It was bad.
Yeah, yeah. Mine's like that too. When it gets like real curly out of the sides and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I remember because I was like, um your TikTok and I like was seeing it. I'm like, oh, he's growing his beard out. This kind of looks good. I'm seeing this, and then like I'm just like, I hope he keeps it. Are you gonna keep it for show day or cut it for
No,
show?
nah, fucking. I'm keeping it till I'm like nice and lean. Then I'll
Yeah,
get rid of it once I'm. So I'm probably gonna keep it for another fuck like 5 weeks or
yeah.
to like 10 weeks out or something. Um, yeah,
And then let that death face sink in.
and then I'll yeah. Man, I got to show it off when you actually look good, right? When
Yeah,
your face actually looks good when you're lean, I got
when
to
it looks
actually
like
show
sunken
that
in a
off.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have it all up with But again, fucking Sam actually messaged me like Pierce,
Yeah.
um, and he's like, don't be a fucking like, don't be an ugly cunt with a beard on stage. He's like, you better fucking shave that on stage. I was
That's
like,
so
yeah,
good. That's funny. But there you go. You got to do what Sam says.
yeah, bro, yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, he's always been on that because he's always very sharp and clean
Yeah.
shaven. He's like, don't have that fucking beard on stage. I was like, I won't, man.
Be
Promise.
presentable.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. But so what did Luke say? He'd be on at 6.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He like I realized I was like I messaged everyone and then you were taking a bit to reply and I was like, oh fuck, I should have messaged everyone a bit earlier, double check with everything. And then Sam messaged and I was like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. And then Luke finally messaged. He's like, oh shit, I forgot. I'm training legs. And I'm like, oh, it's all good. I'm like, my
He's
bad.
not going to be on at 6. He's not going to be on at 6. That means he's like halfway through. He'll be lucky if he's on at 7.
Yeah, we'll see.
I
Hopefully
mean,
jump in
I
eventually.
mean, I mean, he also told me and Jared like
Yeah, yeah.
Purpose Fitness Jared um told me and him that fucking he would meet for his fucking little birthday slash I'm going away to Tasmania dinner at like 6:30, I think it was. They showed up literally an hour late. So we were just sitting there for an hour waiting for the video. I was like, yeah,
Oh,
that's
he's
that's
one of
Luke
those
in a
ones.
nutshell,
Even
man.
rocks
So
up late to his own scheduled thing.
yes, yeah, yeah. And it's worse with Georgia apparently. She's not helping him at all.
Oh wow. You'd think she'd be on point with it to help him out, but not. Make each other look
Mm.
late. How are you, Sam?
Yeah,
I'm doing good, boys. How are we?
Good, good, thank you.
good, good,
Very
good.
nice.
How's something that I was wanting to ask you actually. Your photos, I've always noticed this. Dude, your abductors are like so thick and always like carved out. It's so impressive.
They're fucking annoying.
Like,
They've rubbed together since I was like 12 years old, man.
yeah, patient
But
unreal.
I only started training adductors when I used Matt Jansen as a coach because he put him in the training plan.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
Right.
last year. I'd never done a adductor before in my life.
Really
Yeah.
crazy genetic.
So we started doing
Wow.
them because I noticed at even though they're quite juicy in the off season, there must still be a lot of fat tissue in there.
Yeah.
So at the tail end of prep, when you're really stripping off the last bits, the legs lose that little bit of volume, and I notice it's quite a bit from there. So I'm gonna actually train them and see if I can hold a little bit more of that volume when everything withers away at the end.
Definitely. They're
Mm.
definitely like super. important, especially in like, you know, your front shots where your legs are a bit wider and that to really help keep that shape and thickness throughout the whole leg.
Kick
I
is
noticed
important.
you can
And the
tell
rear
people that
shots,
train
when you
them.
put that foot back for a rear double and stuff, like it makes it look like your legs are still touching with your leg back, but it's just that little adductor sweep there, so it gives a really good illusion. So it's a good problem to have. But yeah, I've barely been able to wear jeans my whole life, man.
That's nuts.
Fucked.
That's terrible.
But I got to thank Mum for that. Mum gave me them, so that's good.
One good genetic.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
sleep
it's
on it,
fucking
man.
good one.
People sleep on how fucking important adductors are, man. You can't miss them.
It's only the last handful of years that men are even doing glutes and adductors and shit like this now. It's very new to the whole thing. Maybe at the top end, they've been a bit better with it, having like actual careers where they dedicate time to training more than everyone else. It's got to work, but I still don't even feel like with the top guys, it's been around a long time.
No, I don't think so either. I don't train glutes at all. I can't. They're fucking already overpowering. But like,
Yeah, yours are.
I've always done heaps of adductors with Sam. Like Pierce is huge on them, so we did them every single leg day, like 2 leg days a week. First thing in and smash adductors.
Yeah. Look, again, if you've just got those legs touching, it changes the whole look. It appears as if you've got these huge legs, and by the measuring tape, they might not be that much bigger at all, but fucking the way it looks is way more complete, way more full.
Yeah. No, because that leads me into a question. Sorry, what was that, Jay?
No, you go ahead.
Oh, it leads me into a question that I was thinking about. And I wanted to get you guys' opinion on that, which is, I know as bodybuilders we try to really grow every body part to the maximal potential, but in doing that, do you think there's because we also play off illusions and based on our height, our size, do you think there's certain body parts or I guess areas of a muscle that we can maybe neglect but get away with still looking really good? For example, like I know for myself, I used to neglect a lot of decline movements for chest, but I'm starting to notice that I feel like even though I've grown an upper chest now and chest a little bit full in the middle, I feel like it still is lacking a little bit in fullness, and I think that could be due to the ignoring the decline, a lot of decline movements. Do you think that that's necessarily, because some people go, if you want to grow chest, just train incline, that's what's going to give it the most shape?
Well, it's not that's what gives it the most shape. It's just when you look around, that's what 90% of the population is lacking. So it's just a good general bit of advice, like start with incline.
Yeah.
Start with incline, because most people are underpowered there, because as soon as you do anything on the incline, people just use shoulders to do the movement. I mean, I did that for my entire teenage years and early 20s. When I was lifting, I was just basically pressing with front delts, so it's so then you look at around the gym, it's like, and somebody asks for advice, they're usually lacking upper chest, so the advice is start with incline. So it just filters around it. They pass it on to their friends, they pass it to the next person. It just seems to become common knowledge that you should do more incline. But yeah, you do need to hit all of it for sure. And decline's one that does get left out. That's one I've left out, and I'm noticing now things like the side chest shot.
Yeah,
I need some underboob going on.
The best way to put it.
But I mean,
I've always left out decline, like purely because I lifted bad for years as well, where like you're doing any type of flat press and you arch the fuck out of your back, so you're basically just doing a decline anyway. Like I lifted that for so long that like I don't do any decline now. And you can get away with it a bit because you like we have the 3 different movements, but our chest isn't broken up into 3 different muscles. Like we actually have a pec major and a pec minor, which we target for incline, but decline we're using the same muscle we would on a flat press anyway. So I don't believe at like the level we're at now, or for most of my clients, that you need to worry about it. Like might be a fucking very 1% thing for like the top Olympians, but I don't think it would make any sort of difference now. So I think you can pretty much get away with neglecting decline for sure.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing. For 99% of the gym population, it's just filling out your fucking physique. Just do whatever it takes to fill your physique out. And then when you get to a
Yeah,
point,
that's right.
where you're going like, all right, like things are, I've got lots of matching body parts now. My arms and shoulders and chest, they all look like they belong to one another. So what can I pick on? And like, so now basically, the decline, I'll just basically say every second chest day at the like the last exercise in chest, I'll just do a standing cable like
Yeah,
decline press, or I get like a more of a good squeeze. By then I'm weak as piss. I've done a few chest movements, and I just want to get something in because I notice it's lacking.
Yeah.
If I don't know if it's going to do anything, but
Yeah,
if I tag it in now through prep, you know what I mean? You stay, prep motivates you to stay on top of these shitty movements like abs and that you don't do all year round.
definitely.
yeah,
Because I
yeah,
noticed
yeah.
like Sam used
Yeah,
to
that's right.
like Sam's a bit advocate of like Sam Pierce of like
Yeah.
dips. He always doing like dips, and we know that kind of like targets the like that lower costal of what like decline movements would do. So I was just
Yeah.
wondering in that regard.
Yeah, well, we've
There's
always
a,
done dips, but it's just a good exercise to fucking finish on after you smash on a chest day. Like it's a body weight exercise. Like you can just go hard on it, and it's always been in there for us just as an extra way to drive like a little bit more volume through it. But I don't think he's necessarily doing it to make sure he's targeting decline perfectly or anything like that. Like, because I don't believe it's really much of an issue. Like if you're trying to build a bigger chest, you're going to do flat stuff anyway because you're going to get more range with flat than decline. You're working the exact same muscle. So I'd just be doing like Sam said, that very small sort of detail work at the end of a workout if you really needed. But yeah,
like you say, most people, even at our level, like
yeah, even
there's
that,
still so many holes in our physique that we need to build up.
yeah.
And get to actually fill it out where you're looking complete. That you can still just get away with just major movements, good form as heavy as possible, and that
I need another 20 kilos of muscle before I worry about any of that
Yeah,
shit.
so you reckon like that's kind of the go-to thing for, anybody kind of, I guess, all amateurs really make sure the goal should be to fill out your physique first and then you worry about little stuff.
Yes, the goal for any amateurs is put on another 20 to 30 kilos. Yep.
and it's hard. Like I mean, because it's repetitive. You know what I mean? Because really, when it comes to lats, there's only 5 or 6 effective movements when it comes to building mass.
Yeah.
We can name another 6 to 10 that are great for shaping or targeting or whatever it may be, but they're not. The weights you're moving with that movement is not going to create new tissue. So it gets repetitive to do the same lat workouts, the same chest workouts, the same quad workouts, and that. And most people don't have that patience. They want to do all the weird stuff that James, not Smith, what's his name? Something Smith on Instagram. He's crazy knowledge of exercises, but it is insane. But again, for 99% of the gym members, it's not what. If the goal is just because they want to keep exercising interesting and they like feeling sore the next day, then fucking have at it. But if anyone says I'd like to compete, well, then your goal is to build tissue, and unfortunately, it does get repetitive.
Yeah, it's about that, that's the biggest thing in bodybuilding is like falling in love with the monotony, like doing the same thing day in, day out, food, training, doesn't matter.
Yeah, look, you might change it from a dumbbell to a barbell to a machine press, but at the end of the day, you're just pressing.
Well, like, as a coach, then, when a client comes to you, let's say it's someone who wants to be a bodybuilder and is amateur, do you tell them, hey, look, you got to suck it up. You're going to do this training block for, 12, 15, 16, 18 weeks, and you just got to suck it up? Or do you go, okay, I understand that, you like to change things up, so we'll go 8 weeks and then we'll change. Like, where do you think is the best spot to, I guess, cater to what the client needs while also, going, this is what it takes though?
Well, when I write a program, I'll give the built-in options. So it'll be like low incline dumbbell press or hammer strength incline press machine or seated cable press. You know what I mean? And they're all exactly the same degree of press and they're all pressing. But then it's like, hey, if all the benches take up in front of the dumbbell rack, use a plate loaded incline press. So you do keep it interesting by changing. This week you might do a dumbbell press. Next week you might do hammer strength press, and then the week after you set up a low incline and do a cable press.
Mm.
That's enough. But for me, when I write the program for this 7 exercises in a row, they're still doing the same movement patterns to try and get the most effect out.
But
so
just
What'd you say again, Jake? I fucking missed that question, so I was reconnecting my internet.
Oh, I was just saying, you know, as being a coach, like, do you tell your client, like, let's say your client's a bodybuilder, amateur, and you go, hey, this is the training block for, 12, 14, 16, 18 weeks, suck it up? Or do you like try to cater to their needs because they like to change things up and go, okay, hey, we're just going to do an 8-week block and then we'll change it. Because, the goal is always that progressive overload. And then to what Sam was saying, my question to that is then, let's say, I know for myself, let's say you said, I go this week, I'm going to do incline press, hammer strength, and the next week I'm going to do low incline dumbbell. But I know what I can lift on the dumbbell and the hammer strength is different. So then in that regard, are you then focused on the total volume for the whole workout, even though one may lack compared to the other in that particular exercise?
Like, I'll do like, cater to your needs in terms of like weak spots and stuff like that. But I'm like, yeah, pretty much like this is the program, do it. And if they're like, hey man, can I throw in some fucking dips or something? I'm like, yeah, sure, do it at the end or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm like, this is the program, do it. But in same regard to what Sam says, well, where if something's taken, then yeah, obviously just switch it out. Like that's not an issue for the same movement pattern and the same, muscle targeted or whatever. But I'm pretty much like, this is the program, stick to it. You don't really need it fucking changed unless it's starting to get shit. Yeah. My program changed fucking twice a year.
Like some people like their journals, they'll know that I did a cable lat pull down and I had it on 52 or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, all the cables are taken up. I'll use a plate loaded lat pull down. I'll do 2 plates aside on that. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know what you're getting to.
It's not an issue. If you need to switch something out, just fucking do it. But yeah, like I don't really, unless people are if people are hating the program because and I know when some of my guys like want the program changed, and there's guys that have been on it for fucking months, and I'm like, all right, yeah, we can switch stuff around, like we'll change it up for you. But a lot of the time, like I don't get guys sick of it or whatever. But depending on the phase as well, like with my prep guys, I've currently got them in a 4-week rotation. So I got 4 different weeks of training, like breaking down training from high volume into high intensity, and they're just sort of rotating through that.
Oh, that's what you're saying to me, like when on our first podcast we did together with how Justin Compton was doing that similar thing with you, hey?
Yeah, and it was working really well.
Yeah.
He has it on a longer basis though, so mine's stretched out over 6 weeks, but I just did theirs over 4, and due to their like based on their experience and stuff, it's just not as drastic. Like I was doing fucking like 30 rep sets and fucking shit like that for my high volume, and then my lower volume I was doing 3 weeks of like everything at a fucking 4 rep max. So I switched it up, so it's not quite, it's same sort of structure but not as drastic. So they're mostly doing like 15 to 20 reps in that first week, and I get down to about 6 to 8 in the last one. Yeah, instead of I don't need young guys who aren't very big doing fucking lots and lots of volume, especially when they're not big enough to have high food at the start of prep yet. So
What do you think? Do you prefer, I guess, because you've kind of done it all in that regard. Like, what do you think has? I know that it's a really individual base like that. What's optimal? What's more personal interest? But how do you deal with, I guess, do you prefer high volume days over, because the goal is still, no matter what, you want to continue the progressive overload over a certain amount of reps, whether it's 6 to 8, whether it's 10 to 15, 15 to 30. But are you more a personal fan of those high volume days compared to the low volume days?
You're not a fan if you fucking do them, that's for sure. They fucking suck. But like I'm a fan of giving them out because it's funny fucking when people message back and they're like, oh, that's fucked, man. I hate this. But like, yeah, honestly, man, I don't think there's an optimal fucking thing to do. The only optimal thing to do is fucking progress, in my opinion. I think if you're again more experienced and you're either on the high end of the amateur scale or you're a pro, if your classic physique versus opens is going to be a little bit different. Like I think you're going to push a little bit more of the heavy shit if you're an open, still trying to put on that new tissue, but you're going to stick to a little bit more high volume, just pump work if you're already filling out your fucking weight cap in classic. So, but other than that, man, I'm not more biased to one than the other. I'm more biased to just fucking actually going hard.
Optimal training is literally just get as close proximity to failure as possible while using the actual target muscle. That's it. Whether that's if you can use, if I do a 6 rep max, I ain't using the target muscle. I'm just fucking using whatever's in town, you know. So for like, it doesn't matter if you can do a 6 rep max while only using your chest predominantly, and then fail under muscular fatigue, not fucking, you know, you're about to blow your shoulder out. Yeah. So, like, then that's it. That's all you can do. For me, I find for me to use muscles, I live in around that 12 to 15 range. If I go too heavy, I'm not targeting. If I don't mind going higher, like on legs and on arms, I'll sit around the 20 rep marks all the time.
So do you reckon that, let's say for, I guess, you know, a beginner or, you know, someone who's been bodybuilding for a couple of years, that would you reckon, let's say to build, because obviously, you know, you want to build strength, so you want to be able to get stronger. Do you reckon, you know, you doing, you know, 6 to 8 reps on weight that maybe, you know, your form's not the best on, but then to build that's helping you build that strength while then, you know, let's say, you know, 12 to 20 reps, those lower weight sets, you just
so building strength relative. Building strength's relative. If you get a weight that you did 12 on last week, you did 13 on it this week, that's building strength. Doesn't have to be a bigger number on a dumbbell for your ego.
Yeah.
You know, if you did 20 and then you got 21, that's building strength. The only thing about doing a lower one is you're allowed to choose a bigger number on a machine, so you get to brag about it more.
Yeah,
like there's no scientific evidence that failing at 6 or failing at 26 builds any more tissue. They have the same fucking response.
Yeah, people forget that fucking 10 reps is low reps.
People 10's low.
Yeah, people forget that. Like working between, if I do program someone to work between 6 to 8, it's for one exercise, and it'll just be like their fucking dumbbell press or some shit like that, whatever it is, or their squat. Like taking a squat for 6 to 8, I'd fucking rate that, because that's a heavy fucking squat, and you're not going to use anything other than your legs to do it.
And that squat, deadlift, things like that, you can. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and that's fucking one exercise. You're not doing that for the whole set.
You won't make it. That's what I used to do when I was younger. Oh man.
You find that like most all programs, what I do, even if I'm putting in 6 to 8, like most of the exercise and the way I'm training myself, mostly everything is living in that fucking 8 to 15, 8 to 20, not even 8, fucking 10 to 20.
Yeah.
Get that balance, I guess, like you're saying.
And I know Luke's
just need to work in a range. Like I know when I'm warming up. If I'm warming up, say go to my worst body part, chest. If I'm grabbing just the 20 kilo dumbbells and having a squeeze and I'm feeling it, it's on, I might actually go up to an 8 rep max and grab a 55 kilo dumbbell. But if I'm willing, I'm like, I'm using stuff, I might do a whole day. I won't pass 37.5 and I'll just do sets of 15 to 20 because I just want to use the chest, nothing else. And if I can already feel warming up that the shoulders and arms are taking over, I won't go anywhere near an 8 rep max.
Okay, that's.
See, I'm always doing some type of isolation move first before whatever heavy compound. And there's debates against it whether it takes it out of the how much you can actually push and progress on the compounds. But honestly, I feel like shit if I go straight into like on a chest set. If I go straight into a dumbbell press, I fucking feel like shit. I hate it. Like, feels like crap.
The fly.
I'm always doing like a fly, even if it's still technically a compound, but I'll jump on a machine and do like a machine incline first and do that higher rep And then I'll do my real heavy shit. So all the heavy lifts that you see me do are usually fucking 3 exercises, 4 exercises in by that point anyway.
Yeah.
Same. I'll start with a cable fly, get chest full, and then go over to
right. So that
just
when you
so
do
what-
the heavy shit, it's all on the muscle. Yeah,
and it's taken 10% off all my lifts.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. I have no connection to the number on the dumbbell. It doesn't do
but it's
anything
giving
for
you
me. If I can press a 50 or
50% more
37 and a half, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some more things to say about that. But before we do that, how are you, Luke? You made
I'm
it.
good. I'm good. Yeah. I'm a
mate.
little tired, but I'm good.
The dedication, getting on in the car.
Yeah,
Let
absolutely.
George do the drive.
Yeah, it was funny because I got to the gym and then you're like, you ready to jump on? I was like, well, I've just finished hamstrings. I'm about to do quads, so we're gonna have to push it a bit.
I told you he was halfway through. He wasn't almost done.
That's all right. That's all right.
No, but it was.
Squat, mate?
What was that?
What'd you squat, mate?
No, I didn't squat, mate. Well, I did like that like shitty like hip hack squat.
Oh, that's the one where you slight incline. It's like a hack squat.
The one Nick Walker always uses.
Yeah. Because he's 5'7", he can.
Yeah. It wasn't too bad though.
I hate that
because Sam just said we just went over everything yesterday, and he sent through a new program today. So it was start with hamstrings, just line curl, and then seated curl, and then went into a dumbbell RDL stretch for like 2 minutes, just one set of that, which was fucked.
Right.
And then leg press, which was just one set of 40 reps. But you know what Sam's like, Jaiden? He's like, pick a weight you can do for 15 and then stay in the machine.
And do it for 40. Stay there till you get 40. Yeah, fucking hell.
But it was good. And then, I did like that hip hack squat and then adductors. So, but it was a really good session. Just really good connection with everything. No pain anywhere, which is a win for me. So, yeah.
Yeah, good. Oh, man.
Adductors are in. Adductors are in.
Yeah, I told you, man. Pierce is huge on it. Like, me and Luke have always done it, man. Like, never failed to do adductors. We're massive ones.
It's super. It's very, very weird if we don't do it, especially if we do a session and like for whatever reason we're at a gym doesn't have an adductor machine. We're like, I don't know what to do.
What do you do?
What do I do?
The whole session,
man. I don't miss those leg presses, man. They're the fucking worst, man. Like, no one can torture on a fucking leg press like Sam can. I remember the worst one I had. Worst one I had was during COVID, actually, when Sam was doing his little garage session. So he had a fucking, I don't know if I told you about this, Jake, but he had a 1-car space park in his like apartment in fucking Pagara Waters back then. 1-car space is all it could fit. So barely fit his fucking Merc in there.
I remember where that was.
And he managed to put a big squat rack, the one like a fucking squat rack, just about. And then there's like a T-bar roll on the ground, the leg press he's got in Iron Asylum now, a leg extension, and a fucking bench and a dip machine.
I think I remember seeing this. Like, he had Steven that used to that has UFC. Yeah, he used to train.
Yeah, so we did sessions in there, man. I remember just doing like fucking FST7 on leg extensions to start, and then and then we put on a few plates like on this fucking leg press, which this leg press is like 150 kilos by itself. It's a heavy.
You're already at a fucking 10 rep max.
Man, seriously, like 5 plates on it for us was like our working sets. It was fucking heavy as. And he throws like 2 plates on, and he's like, all right, we'll just like, and this is not my first time using it. He's like, all right, we'll fucking sit here until you get 100. And I was like, what? and I barely got like 20. I was at number 20, and he was like, had to give me a spot, and he didn't let me off. I did 100 somehow, and that was the first time in my life.
So fucked.
Now, I've seen him post a few sets like that. Like, I've seen him, he's really big at that way. He goes, he does it on a hack squat sometimes too. Like, he goes, this is like a 2-minute set. You just find that weight insane, and then just keep going until you get like 50, 60, 70, 80, 100.
You used to do stuff like that. I've forgotten about doing weird shit like that. I haven't done it in a long time.
It's fucking It's fucking great, man. Like George, I just put George through it today for the first time, and it was we both really enjoyed it. Like it was fucking hard, but it's like it's one set, and that's the thing you tell yourself. It's like I've got one set of leg press, and I can move on.
Just stay here and go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to creep a couple in while I've still got some food in me.
I've always vouched, like, if you want fucking like innovative training, and like Sam's fucking the best at it. Like Sam's the best at coming out with that fucking hard shit that you don't think to do.
Yeah.
And every time you got into a program for him, like, you know, after you've been training on your program if you're on the same program for like 3 or 4 months, you might start to change this and that, like just move it around, and then you start to like feel a bit off with your training. And then if it does change, then you look it over again, you're like, oh, holy fuck, what's all this shit that you like haven't done before, wouldn't have even thought to do by yourself. Like it's he's really good at it.
Yeah,
I might have to add in, give that a go.
Yeah, he does so many fucking just things up his sleeve like that.
Yeah. No, it's good. And these, like the emphasis on my program moving forward now is just like less volume, but just more intensity. So like for instance, like for hamstrings, both exercises we just did a top set of 12 and then a rest pause set of 25, and that was it for both lying and seated. And then then we went to the stretch. Then we did the leg press, and then the hack squat was a top set of 10 and then a set of 20, but it's a 4-second pause on every rep, and then adductors. And
fuck yeah.
So are you only doing one leg day then, and it's just combined hamstrings and quads?
I've got one main quad day, and then I've got another hamstring day later in the week. So it's like the split's like, from memory, it's calves, chest, triceps, then back, biceps, and then I think I've got a rest day, and then it's that leg day. Then I've got like a shoulder, tricep day, and then like another hamstring and back day or something like that.
Yeah.
But then he's got like a bunch of like ab work and calf work for me to do, and like control drills as well for like my glutes and shit.
Yeah.
So
what's all your opinion on doing that? Like, you know, AM PM session regard to like, okay, AM we're gonna do calves, because I saw, did you do that for a little bit, Jaiden, or was that someone else, or maybe it was Callum? I saw someone doing that for a bit, and they were doing like AM session was like abs, arms, or abs and calves, and then PM, and then you do your like.
I did that shit when I was 18, but I wouldn't count doing it. I didn't do it properly.
Yeah, you got to be eating a lot of food to do that, I think, in my opinion.
I'd give it a crack now. If it was like if Justin wanted me to, I'd give it a crack now. Probably not prep, but like fucking in off season, I'd give double sessions a go. But it's usually not like when you hear like the people who are actually doing it, like Milos's clients and shit. It's not accessory stuff at night. It's fucking sessions.
Yeah,
they're fucking pumping fucking 40 units of Slin each time. It's fucking they're balls to the wall.
I think that's how they get away with it, is because they push that much Slin and they're pushing that much food, so their body's just forced to recover.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And usually those guys are able to get naps in during the day, and just really prioritize recovery. So if you're doing that, then you train twice a day. But for the normal person who's not going to push 40 units of Slin and have a couple of naps during the day, probably not.
Probably not, mate.
Yeah. I'm a fan of like when you're doing like during prep, if you've got cardio, like for me, if I do cardio in the morning, like I'll usually do calves or abs with that. And then I'll come back later for my actual weight session. So then I don't have to do those like little muscle groups with the big one. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'll ever do.
When I'm on prep, I fucking want to be in the gym as least as possible.
Yeah.
I ain't going twice a day. Fuck that.
Fucking hate the
gym. Fuck no.
Fucking hate beer.
Well, this prep's been really good because all my cardio has pretty much been outside, which has been nice.
Yeah, it's so much better, eh?
Oh, so much better. Well, especially down in Tassie as well. It's not fucking scorching hot either. So you can actually go for a nice walk in this breeze and you can just enjoy it. Whereas up home in Queensland, it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
It's pretty shit, though.
Not fun.
I got rained on yesterday morning for my walk, so that was nice.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah, it was. It was good. Not as much. It sort of drizzled a bit.
hoping...
I'm like, fucking come on. And then it did heavy, and then it stopped. And then there was a drizzle, and it stopped. Fuck, it wouldn't just let go properly. So, but yeah, I'd say I do all my cardio outdoors. I ain't doing nothing indoors.
I'm hoping I'll be right again, and I won't have to do cardio till fucking 6 weeks out again like this year, and hopefully I'll get away with not having to do too much.
You barely did any cardio last year.
Fucking none, bro. I did none. I did none. I was still too flat. Yeah, but fucking yeah. Anyway, what you were talking about with the like sets and stuff you're doing now, Luke. So I actually like, I was a bit tossing up what I should be doing. If I'm like, should I track my fucking working sets? And because I've just started, like, I'm on prep now. I start fucking logbooking. We haven't logbooked in fucking ages, and I was like, I might fucking start doing this again. And then, you know, we've always just been go hard as fuck kind of thing, and we've just gone off feel for that day. But I was like, I might actually fucking, you know, logbook this prep. But yeah, fucking, and I was like thinking about what I should track, and I actually asked Justin what his opinion is and what he like does or used to do or whatever. And I thought it was interesting because I've never done this, and I'm giving it a go, and fuck me, it's hard, but it's like does all, you know, your primer sets, your warm up sets, whatever you want. So if you're benching, you know, you do fucking, say your top set is fucking, if you're doing 100 kilos for 10, you do like fucking, you know, 50 kilos for fucking a few, then fucking 60 kilos for a few, 75 for a few, 90 for one, and then you throw 100 and, you know, aim for 10. But he's doing 2 top sets at his heaviest weight. So he's like, all sets to failure. So he's like, get to my top set. Once I'm at that top set, that's till failure, track that. Another set at that heaviest weight till failure, track that again, and then a back off till failure.
Yeah.
It's like, I've never done that because we've always built to a top set. And if we do track, we track that top set and then move on.
See that.
So we've always only sort of tracked one set, but
I do one top set, one back off.
Yeah, and half the time we don't even do a fucking back off.
I've been training how Justin wants you to do that. That's how I do it. I do like warm up, like feeder, warm up. Okay, top set, whatever it is. So it's either 6 to 8, 10 to 12, or 12 to 15. That's first set, and then I do it again for the second set. And if I feel like I should have gone a bit heavier, I'll go a bit heavier. I'll do the same weight again. But then to think to do a back off 3 set, that seems pretty fast.
Yeah, so 3 sets till failure, and so that's what I'm giving a go now, and it's hard. The only thing I'm not going to do it on is my squat pattern because I'll fucking die if I do another set at my fucking biggest weight. So that's the only thing I can do on it.
If you're training by yourself as well, it can become a little bit, well, depending on what kind of squat variation you do, it can become a little bit dangerous doing some kind of back off when you've just gassed yourself as well. You're training on your own. So
yeah, that's the only thing. That's the thing I won't do. Yeah, but fucking man, it was so funny when I actually messaged him and he was like mapping it out for me. He's like, so this is what my chest like looked like, and he's like, so I did, you know, he's telling me in pounds, and he's like, did this much for this much, and he's like, then I got to my top set and I did 6 plates for 8, and I was like, 6 plates? I was like, what the fuck did you do 6 plates? Oh, bro, that's so much. I don't care what exercise it is. That's fucking so much.
Wait, but that's the thing. Like,
you sort of 6 plates for 8, then 6 plates again for 4, and then I backed off to 5 plates.
So then you watch like Nathan Diasher and all them, they get on a machine and they got 6 plates aside doing like shoulder presses and that. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, cunt?
Nathan's a strong cunt, isn't he?
That's
I was watching him the other day. Even Sean Clarita moves massive weights.
Yeah.
It's the size of your thumb.
Yeah. And it's there. Well, Sean's is his fucking, you know, his range of motion. He's fucking built for pressing, man. Like, Jesus, it's like when I trained with Scotty, because I'm pretty sure Scotty and Sean are about the same height. And yeah, bro, like fucking I racked the shit on the Smith machine, and his starting position is like fucking half my squat. So he's like doing fucking he's loading up like 5 plates. He's doing 5 plate squats for fucking sets of 12 and racking it up. Fucking hell, man.
But that's that thing about, you know, a lot of the older, you know, 2000s, and they say like the reason they have such dense muscle is because, you know, they were benching 5, 6 plates. They were squatting 7 plate. You know, like when you think about even James Hollingshed now, like, you know, he's squatting 7 plates, 6 plates, 8 plates, where a lot of us, like, I feel like we've leaned more, into like optimal, you know, we don't need to push that 5-6 plates, but then
society in general has,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need to. I think to be an open bodybuilder, you need to push fucking weight. I genuinely like you have to. And the
You need to
guys
know
that
what
don't
fat is.
do it, the guys that you don't see doing it now have done it, and they backed off now. Like even Ian, Ian's still fucking hack squats 10 plates and shit like that. Like fucking 10 plates aside. Like it's fucking
Well, that
I think it's especially when the guys are younger, because that's when you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Like as long as you're not training like a complete asshole, when you're younger, your joints are more lubricated, you have a bit more room to push things like that. When you get older, your joints are less forgiving. So that's when you're like, all right, cool. Well, I need to find other ways of reaching failure than just weight and be smarter and save your joints. So that's when it comes into, like pre-exhaustion stuff or pre-fatiguing. Like but when you're younger, like that was, I think you and me, Jaiden, that's when we were like, 20 or so. That was probably what we were mainly doing, was a lot more heavy stuff. And granted, we could have done a lot of stuff better, but I think it's worked in our favor now that we've gone and done that heavy training when we were a bit younger, because the density we've got, and now we can change a little bit.
Yeah, we learn, like when you do the heavy shit, you learn how to train hard, and then you can refine it when you get a bit older. So like I've got clients now as well where I'm like, I see them training too heavy, and I'm like, you definitely aren't getting a good enough squeeze and stuff like that. But I'm like you try and tell them, and I'm like they'll get better. It's just years, and it's like when you do that first, and then you refine it and pull it back, like you're going to be able to keep lifting hard and heavy, but when you actually apply good form to that, then you're going to be fucking huge. But I think it's 100% necessary to keep building and move some serious fucking weight to be an opens, like a good opens fucking pro.
Two things on that. First one is, I was going to ask, speaking of like pros and lifting stupid weight, Luke, how much plates did you get on that like hip press hack squat thing?
For my tops, I got 3 for 10.
Hardy posted a video like a day or two ago, and he's got 8 or 9 plates aside.
I saw that.
Hardy's strong, bro.
I know. Hardy's fucking.
I know he's short, but fucking hell,
he can't be that dense
strong.
without being stupidly strong, bro.
Granted,
but he's an animal. Like he takes short rests. He supersets shit. Fucking pulls an 8-rep max on this, then a fucking 18-rep max on that, and supersets it with fucking lunges. He's a fucking psycho.
That's fucked.
He's out of control, bro. I mean, like everyone's that Middle Eastern density. It's like, no, that's Hardy density, bro. That's he's built that shit. Fuck. Yeah, that's why he gets so fucking rock hard.
Yeah.
It's a very humbling machine too, man. Like, because I haven't really used that type of hack squat until I got down here, because the gyms down here, they like the Zap Fitnesses we've been training at, that's kind of the hack squat that they all seem to have. So the first time I did it, I didn't really go above 2 plates. I was just like, this is like quite difficult. And I've been able to work up to like 3. I think I did 3.5 last week, but that was not after a set of 40 on leg press. But yeah, man, like I can't see myself working up super, super quick anytime soon. But it's a decent range, man. I actually quite like them.
You always like a bit lighter when you first start a movement for the first few weeks until you like get stronger at like just the movement in general. But it's like even when you go to a different gym and try like a different hack squat, you're like, you can never squat as fucking good as you do when you one back at your home gym kind of thing. But it is a fucking very humbling machine. It's hard as shit.
Yeah, but it was that was fucking great. And I was able to get 40 reps on 6 plates on the leg press.
There you go.
That's good.
That was fun.
That'll hurt.
Yeah. No, it was disgusting.
That's fucked. To the other thing, when we talk about the strength before, I've always also been interested in this. Where do you think the limit is, I guess? So we're all genetically different, so we all have a different strength limit naturally. How much, for example, like we're saying, if you really want to be an open bodybuilder, you're really going to have to, especially in those foundation years, really push heavy weight and, get used to controlling. And where do you think that, how much do you think taking stuff helps with that increase of strength in comparison to your natural strength limit. So like, for example, I wouldn't say I'm naturally the strongest naturally. And so I'm assuming, that general sense of, you jump on, then you get a bit stronger and you continue, the more you eat, the more bigger you get. But do you think something like that is limited? So for example, I may struggle more in the long run, even doing, stuff to become an open size and have that dense muscle because I'm naturally still not as strong as say someone like, you yourself or whatever. That was really badly explained, but
no, I think
I'll come
I
at
think
it
I was
from
wrong, and I don't think it honestly makes much of a difference, man. Like honestly, like gear's always obviously gonna improve how much fucking size you can put on, but in terms of strength, like there's so many fucking natty guys I know that could outlift me any day of the fucking week without
easy.
even.
I'm the weakest cunt in the fucking gym.
Yeah.
I'm so weak, bro.
But that's a benefit is I've never been strong. If I try and
No,
keep up
neither.
with anyone, like if I try and keep up with people, they just outlift me anyway, and I'm just gonna, I might hurt myself, or I'm just gonna look dumb trying to keep up with them, and I'm definitely not going to use the muscle. So it's easy. I just let them run down the rack, and I'm like, I'll grab these. I don't even try. It's good, but also in comparison to someone natural strength versus unnatural strength and then gaining strength over the years, if you're looking at a dumbbell I'll press now, like say I could get to the 50s for, well, I don't know, 12 to 14 reps. I was doing the 50s however many years ago, but that was like a 4-rep max doing half range of motion like a fucking beginner. I'm pretty much doing the same weights 20 years later, but now it's all the way to the chest, controlled, actually using the chest for 12 reps instead of 4. The strength that everyone wants to logbook and make sure you're going up in weight all the time hasn't really changed, but how I do the weight is that's light years different.
If you can keep the way you do the weight perfect and the same, then it's worth logbooking. That's why I'm doing it now, because I'm so strict on my form. But there was no point in me doing that back in the day, man. I was lifting fucking way heavier my first show in 2020. Like the only thing I'm stronger at now, and that's really accelerating, is my leg movements. So like my squat patterns are getting really strong. But that's, again, you just push with your fucking feet. Like there's nothing else to do. You get your legs moving anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think like man, I was shoulder pressing the fucking 48 kilo dumbbells like 6 months into training when I was 18. I couldn't fucking do that now to save my life.
Oh, my shoulder fall out my ass.
I wouldn't even be able to pick the cunts up, bro. I wouldn't be able to even kick them up. It'd be the hardest time of my fucking life, man. I'd be able to get one rep. Like, no, I don't think it's like important at all. Like, it's when you're actually doing the fucking weight properly, man. Like, man, my first show in 2020, I was doing seated barbell press. Like, I set up a seat in the fucking squat rack, and I was doing 3 plates a side, and I was just fucking shoulder pressing that. I couldn't even do 2 plates now. Fuck no. Like,
that's the weird thing. It's like you had a worse range of motion, you were doing it twice as fast, you're doing less reps, all this sort of stuff. But now, like, you can make lighter weights with more control and that. You're like, how did I used to lift that, man? Like,
that's right. I'm like, I don't even know how I used to do this. Yeah, but no. So I don't think you're capped at all with like just how strong you are. I don't think that caps how much muscle that's gonna translate to how much muscle you put on, man. Like, honestly, fucking all you have to do is focus on lifting perfect, and try and improve your lifts, and increase weight or increase reps. Like, try and do that, but it's not going to be the fucking be all and all. It's the same way because there's only a fucking limited amount of weight you can go up, right? Like, you can only get to this much.
If I
Same as the scale.
Lateral raises on shoulders for sets of 20 with 70s by now.
Yeah. That's right, man. It's the same reason you can't just track fucking
1 rep a week, and I'm going to go up by 2.5 kilos as soon as I can get to 15. I should be side raising the 60s by now, but
that's right, man. It's the same reason you can't track just body weight on a fucking scale either. It's the exact same reason. Like, otherwise I'd feel like fucking shit. I was talking to a couple guys today about it. Like, I started my fucking what I think. Oh, after April shows, I rebounded up to 109, and obviously we're shredded as fuck still. So I was 109 shredded, and then I'm starting this prep at about 108 fat. So I haven't gone backwards in a year,
Yeah.
right? But it's the exact same with fucking lifting dumbbells. I'm not, and fucking every other exercise. I'm not smaller and weaker than I was. I'm fucking way stronger. But no, I can't lift as much. Yeah, because you can't always just focus on the strength. Like, yes, I think you do have to get to a point where you're getting fucking strong and you're lifting a lot, but that comes with 10 years, not a couple.
No, I think that's like a big thing. I started.
Yeah, like I want to be lifting heavy as fuck when I'm 30 for sure. But like, that's fucking 7 years away for me. Like, I'm not trying to fucking lift those pro bodybuilder weights now because it's not gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I'm starting to fall back into that trap of like, because I do log everything. So it's kind of like, oh fuck, I've been lifting like, let's say dumbbell press in between the 30s and the 35s for like, 2 years now. But it's like, oh, well, 4 years ago, like Sam was saying, I was only doing the 30s for like maybe 6 reps and they were shit 6 reps, but I can comfortably get them for 30s for 15 now with, perfect form.
Yeah.
So it's just, I guess, like you got to try your most not to get lost in that strength, if you are writing it down or, are logging to go, okay,
Very easy.
I need to be hitting this number or getting to this number to really show that I'm improving, but that's not true.
Very easy to get lost in
the trap.
Me and Luke have got lost in the other way plenty as well, where like we've spent too long focusing on the squeeze and getting the contraction stuff like that, and then we haven't increased our weight in fucking 6 months, and we're like, what the fuck are we doing? We can do this, like, you know what I mean? So you have to check yourself
middle ground
after a while, and like make sure you're okay. Like, have I actually progressed? Yes, and like, am I focusing enough on executing movement perfectly? Yes. Okay, well then you're doing everything you can. Yeah. If you can get lost in just trying to progress more and your form starts to suffer, or focusing on form so perfectly that you don't progress for months, they're both not the best.
Yeah,
but it is easy to get lost in.
Workout. I have no consistency.
Yeah.
As I'm doing the warm-ups, I'll grab the 30s and then the 40s, and the 40s will just move a butter. Fuck, all right. I'm just put them away after like 2 reps. I'll grab the 50s. If they move, I'm just throwing them away after 1 or 2. I'm going to go up today and try 55 or 57. I might not pick it up. I might not get back to a weight like that for fucking 6 months, because every time I go to warm up, the other shit's feeling heavy.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to hang back at 47s or 50s or 42s or fucking. I just want to know that I'm going to muscular failure and somewhere in excess of 8 up to 15 reps. If I fail somewhere in that window, but I'm actually failing, I know I'm getting maximum growth anyway.
Yeah. I've always been like that as well. Like, well, I've been off and on. I mean, recently I've been like that a lot, just where I'm like, go in, do what I feel. But I'm always quite consistent with my strength. So I'm like, I'll fucking start logbooking now. It's been about a year, like more than that actually. I haven't fucking logged anything since my prep for fucking 2020 Arnold. So I was like, I might start logbooking shit again, because my strength is very, very consistent each week. So
mine's probably so old.
Yeah.
Could be fucking age, bro.
Could be.
Shit starts to hurt. Joints.
Yeah, it's really about just finding that balance in all, areas to really just, feel strength, movement, everything, just to get that.
But also it's going to depend. It's going to be phase dependent as well. And because that's going to, matter about your food and the gear you're on as well. Like currently a month or so ago, I wasn't doing it because I was off all gear. Food was a bit lower. We're just having like this boring sort of maintenance holding phase before prep started properly. So I was like, cool. I did exactly what fucking Sam was just saying there. Come in, feel the weights, just try and hit failure. Good amount of reps, good squeeze, cool. Now Everything's ramped back up. My food keeps increasing every week. Food keeps increasing every week. I've got gear at its highest it's been, and so I'm pushing weight at the moment while I can. And once food starts to drop in prep deeper and food starts to drop, I'll pull it back and I'll do the same thing. I'm not going to try and lift stupid fucking weights when that 6 weeks out mark. I'm still going to train hard, but I'm just not going to push for the load PBs.
But it's like where you can still maintain your strength, that you're not going to lose the muscle while being in such a deficit.
Yeah,
there's a certain
that's
point.
Right. I'll just be pushing for reps.
Yeah. Well, I guess
it's not worth it. You won't catch me squatting fucking 5 plates inside those last 5 weeks unless I'm feeling really, really good, depending what I have in there. But yeah, I doubt I'm going to be pushing for that type of thing. Oh, fucking funniest story, Sam. You'll think this is funny too. Fucking so I don't know if I told you, Jake, or if Scotty told you when he was on the podcast.
Yeah.
But fucking when he was getting so strong.
I think he did.
Yeah, he was getting so strong the last few weeks of prep, man, because he fucked up how much he was meant to be taking from his coach, and he's having way more of the orals he was meant to have. This is a weekly dosage, and he was having it daily because he didn't see the fucking. He didn't see that it said it was in the daily column, but then he didn't see that afterwards it said weekly because he has a shitty Android or whatever and it cut it off. So he was doing what was he doing? I think it was 100 and it's 160 megs of super droll a day in the last in the last couple of weeks. So I thought it was Stana originally, but I was talking to him the other day. He's like, no, it's fucking super droll. He's like, that's why I was getting so strong.
Walk with that much Stana through his joints were dried up.
Well, yeah, he was so strong, bro. He's behind the neck pressing 3 plates fucking week out from the show. It's I could go up. No, bro,
fuck, man. He's into anything. Fuck.
He's getting real strong. So yeah, a bit of super draw and a bit of halo, and he was ready to go. Yeah.
Well, actually, you talked before, Jake. You said about the difference on gear. When I was I just turned 20, I think, or maybe just before my 20th birthday. I put in some sus and some D-Bolt. And so back then it's only pharmacy. So the 1 mil snap-offs for the sus and D-Bolts, holy fucking shit. I could just pick up anything I wanted. It didn't matter what it was. It was fucking crazy. Straight to the heaviest dumbbells in the gym. Leg pressing 700 kilo, fucking everything. Just went up 20%. It was fucking nuts. But when the gear came out, my fucking shoulder was blown to pieces because I was doing all these movements that my body wasn't ready for. It wasn't ready to lift 20% more overnight.
No.
It was once the gear left the system and you're just fuck, I'm fucking jacked. And then the gear leaves the system. Oh man, my right shoulder was destroyed.
Yeah. Kate talks to me about it a bit, the physio I see. She's like, especially when you're in gear, you got to watch out because your tendons and joints can't keep up with the strength.
With the muscle.
Yeah. But I've never had any adverse effects like that from fucking gear, man. Anything I've taken, I've also always been very low reactive to any pharmaceutical at all. My whole life, I've always never really seen anything from anything. So everyone's fucking take this, you get real strong, and I'm like, no, I don't notice it. Nothing. Even I've never noticed any type of
that's
from anything. I just don't.
Only thing that ever made me strong because I've had sus since and it doesn't do anything, but I've never had D-Bolt again. So I reckon it was that. But trend for me makes me a little bit stronger. But when I mean a little bit, it's 1% or 2%. It's just a few reps stronger. I'll still get the same weight, but get a better set out of it. Yeah.
That's fair, actually. Yeah, when I do put trend in, that trend's the only thing I've ever taken that has actually really I've noticed effects from. That's the only thing where I've been oh shit, I can see a difference. Even going from a cruise to like going from 250 tests to blasting everything, like I've done now. I notice like my weight's gone up, but I look a bit fuller, but in terms of feeling, I feel no different whatsoever in any aspect. I feel no different. So yeah, trend's the only thing where I've taken and I've actually been like, oh fuck, I'm strong as, and I'll actually and I'll actually like increase my fucking strength like every fucking week in the gym, and that's the only thing that really reacts to my physique, and I like change very, very quickly on it.
Like I don't know a lot about, pharmacology and that, but I find that interesting when, in regard to the first thing you were saying about yourself, it is really genetic based on, how well your body does respond to obviously, any form of drug, like anything. And, like, for example, my father, he has some genetic makeup code thing that the doctors found out where his body will break down whatever they give him, and it just adapts to it really quickly. So, it gets to a point where, he's been taking prescription drugs for so long that when he was doing stab your balls for the IVF, they're giving him the whistles, doing nothing, literally nothing. I was there with him, and he's like, I don't feel this at all, and that's because of the that genetic thing of his body just gets used to it. So, and then when you're talking about the trend, it's funny because a lot of people talk about how not potent, but how tren is known to have like lots of different side effects and not always be the best anabolic or whatever it is to take in comparison to others. So it's interesting in that regard how you're saying for yourself that you notice you're always really a slow responder, and that could be your genetic trait, but then really I guess shows that tren is really so different that even on a slow responder like yourself, it does have you can notice such a difference.
Yeah, but then there's people like, well, Luke, who I'm sure he'd fucking justify if he was here as well, but he would.
I'll see where he is.
He doesn't physically fucking change when he puts it in. Like he gets really bad mental effects from it. Like he'll completely fucking lose emotion when he's on it. But see, I don't get any of that. I just get physical changes immediately. So I don't feel anything mental from anything I've ever done. I just seen physical changes from the trend, and that's all. Everything else is everything else I've never noticed anything from. It's weird.
Found the one,
don't know why.
I found the one that makes me like snappier and shorter fuse is Anavar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Interesting how, different things affect different people.
If I put Anavar in, I just noticed you're a bit more like finicky around the house and particular about how you want things and everything. But then one day I had some other Anavar from overseas, and I didn't know if they were 50 milligram or 10, because you can get either from this place. And so yeah, I was just fucking wondering. I'm like, shit, I'm meant to be on 40. I'm like, I'm meant to be on, I think 50 a day. I can't remember now. I'll have 2 of these. So I ended up, and they must have been the 50. Next thing you know, I literally swallowed them, and like an hour later, I was just stomping around the house. I was fucking instantly just snooty at nothing.
Yeah.
Must have been that double.
And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that again, and I'm not upping the dose. That's enough. So yeah, Anavar for me, that one. And look, I had an ex who had it, and she was a cunt on it.
That wasn't bad.
We'll say it was because of that.
No, you can tell the difference when she was on her 6 weeks or whatever fucking that coach she had. I'll just say something, but yeah, she was shit, man. She just no matter what come out of your mouth, she just how you correct you, what you said, how you said it, fucking how you, like everything. Just was always just at you, constantly at you, and I'm like, fucking get off.
Lose my shit. That's annoying.
Yeah, man, at you like fuck, and it was it's frustrating. But no, I can't say now, and it's too high, so I was a fucking turd for that day as well.
Yeah, right. I can't say I've ever fucking found anything that has actually made a difference. Well, I've never taken Halo, but Scotty vouches by that. He was saying that, he was doing that for the last couple of weeks before gym, and it just gets you fucking real fired up and aggressive to train.
Halo's fucking wild. Mine, I don't know if it was underdosed, but it made you a bit like Trent, like that sort of. It made you a bit short of fuse and everything. But I'd seen a posing client who was on pharmacy Halo. Fuck, dude.
Right.
He was ready to just fucking punch my walls in.
No, I've never fucking had anything like that. So I don't know if it'll be thrown in this time, but I've never experienced it, so I can't say it.
He's the only one I've seen on real stuff, and he was fucking just ropeable on life. Just talking about the drive over to do the posing lesson. Just talking about the drive. Fucking fuck. I was just sitting there. A friend of mine, she was on the couch, and we're all three of us were chatting, and then we did the posing session. We come back in, and she's like, "He was pretty fucking fired up, wasn't he?" I said, "Jesus Christ, he was. He was." That's. I heard that's what Halo's like, and I'm like, so then I started questioning what I had, whether it was underdosed or not real, because I hope I wasn't like that.
I think it matters a lot on the person, man. Like we're very fucking chill people, bro. Like, I think that matters. I think that comes into it a lot.
Absolutely.
But, the only other thing that I actually have a fucking really fast reaction to, is growth. Like as soon as that goes in, I just fucking get real lean immediately.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing, because I know a lot of people like don't really get a lot from it, but as soon as I put that in, I get nice and full, and I just fucking body fat just falls off me. So
I get full. Everything's thick. Everything's thick on growth. It's awesome.
I definitely get fuller, but I get leaner. Like I can't stop getting leaner. Whenever I'm on it, I just get leaner. Like I just recomp at whatever I'm eating. I keep eating more, and I just keep getting leaner. Like it's fucking. That's the only thing that really works.
That's crazy.
Like
it's really good.
My hands are like pillows on growth.
Yeah,
like I gotta hold a pen and write, and I'm like a kid with a fucking crayon. I'm fucking shit. And my shoes, because I pre-laced all my shoes, I just slip them on them off. Like now, I'm trying to put my shoes on to go for my walk, man, and it's Jesus.
Yeah,
tight as
shoes
fuck.
and socks become the hardest day.
Real fucking tight. So the growth, I get super full on it. When I was on pharmacy, I was taking genotropin. That stuff, man, my dreams in my sleep, if I could sleep, because I turn my hands into claws, like the pain of my forearms. Oh man, I couldn't fuck. But when I was asleep, you had one dream from when you fell asleep to when you woke up. So if you slept for 7 hours, you had this saga for 7 hours. Like you woke up fucking exhausted. I didn't care if you were dreaming about just being around the house, or if you were in a war, a medieval war or whatever, or you were having a fucking wild sex dream. You had 7 hours of that shit. It's fucking out of control, man. It was super intense.
Oh, the fun things that you got to deal with.
It's good.
Yeah, can't say,
sex dream ones were good, but the medieval wars are a bit fucking scary.
Oh, that's classic. That's classic. Luke's gone. Is Luke coming back, or?
I think he's broken.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I messaged him. He hasn't replied, so I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
He's just fucking man. Georgia messaged me and said his phone died.
His phone died?
Yeah.
Should I send Georgia the link?
Georgia messaged me and said his phone died. Yeah. If you want, man.
Who?
Are they still driving? Oh, what I was wanting to speak about was because we did the Olympia live reaction last week, and we were pretty spot on with our picks. I must say, proud of all of us. My question is, do you think they're going to like next year? Do you think that Brandon and Rami are going to keep getting pushed further back now? Like, do you think? I think definitely
Brandon has potential to keep his foot there.
Yeah,
Rami's not in good shape.
No. I think unless they really turn their shit around, they're going to keep getting pushed out. I think
Most
Samson's going to overtake both of them next year, regardless. And fucking
And Jack will overtake
Hunter,
them.
if Hunter comes in right, he'll start moving above both of them as well. Yeah, I think if they don't seriously do something, they're going to get pushed out for sure.
Out of those two, Brandon still has the most potential,
Yeah,
but
sure.
it's still not likely.
No.
It's still not likely. He's most likely going to slip. Bonac fell way off. I was surprised.
I was, but I wasn't. Like, I was surprised that he didn't look as good as he usually does, but I wasn't surprised by his placing because I was like,
No.
I just don't think he's going to get anywhere up there. I was thinking to myself, but
because when I saw him at that Arnold's against Brandon, he got second. Me and Logan and that were talking about. We're like, he looked fucking wild.
mm,
He looked fucking wild, but that version didn't show up 6 months later to the Olympia, which was yeah.
I think that I was talking to Jaiden Riggs about it, and because he was at the Olympia as well, and and he was like, yeah, bro, I reckon they're setting it up so that Hardy, Derek, and Nick are gonna battle it out for a good few years.
Look, based on that, but again, with Samson and Andrew,
Samson
they
come up as
can
well.
fuck all their parties.
But see,
Yeah,
that's
I
what I
agree.
was going to ask you next, which was, and I had a lot of thought about this after it was mentioned. I think it was on Buys and Tries, and it was like Matt Jensen saying something about, there's a lot of talk about how so many people can be Mr. Olympia. And, I'm interested on, your guys' opinion, because the more that I think about it, I think, yes, there's quite a few in that top 10 that could be Mr. Olympia, but do I think they ever will? Like, I think Nick could be. I don't think he ever will.
I agree with Jansen in that there's been literally 17 Mr. Olympias since the beginning of time. There's been 17. Like, it's not something anyone can do. Like, it's super, super fucking exclusive and going to be really hard. I do think there's a chance Nick will, only because he's so young and he somehow can improve so much still in a year. Like, he's just the freakiest fuck ever. And I think he might get to a point depending on what Derek's doing. Derek's obviously very young as well. And, I think Derek's going to be very, very hard to beat. But, I think there's potential for Nick to eventually get it. But all the talk about all these other guys, like, it's not as simple as, oh, these guys look amazing, they can win the Olympia. Like, no, I don't think that's gonna fucking happen. Like, I don't ever think Andrew Jackson will win the fucking Olympia. He's like 38 years old or something.
See, I'm on the fence. I get what he's saying. There's only been 17 in history. Just calm down a bit. But there is legitimately 4 physiques that are good enough to win, and that is Derek, Samson, and Andrew. Now, whether Andrew happens to get there within next, but we've legitimately got 4 people that if it was an even conditioning race, which we know Hardy wins that conditioning race, Derek's next best at it, and then it's Samson. So it looks like those 2 are the most likely top 2. But if the taller guys could sort their shit and get as equally conditioned, there is legitimately 4 good enough physiques to win.
Yes, I do believe that. Like, someone like Andrew would be good enough, but I don't think he will pick up the slack that he's missing to get there in the short amount of time that he has left. He could fucking prove me wrong, and that'd be great. I mean, I'd love to see him win, but I just don't think it'll happen. Because I don't think he'll out muscle someone like Hardy or fucking Derek.
Well, even
young, bro. Derek's gonna stay forever.
Even Samson, like, I'd have to say, like, Samson, Derek, and Hardy. Like, I just don't think Nick, purely based on, like, yes, he made an improvement with, I guess, the blockiness this season, hence, moving up to 3rd. But when you have people like Derek and Hardy that have that shape, and I think that's always one criteria that's gonna be ticked. And when those people, and then if Samson keeps improving and gets more in condition. Like I just think like Nick will always be like for someone like Branch or something like that, or Kai, always play in second, but
Nick's a Branch.
just
Yeah,
never
that's
get
fair.
that
That's
first.
fair.
He'll always be near the top because how can you not reward?
How can you not? That's right.
It's fucking heaps of muscle and it's
He's the
peeled to the dick. Like, you have to
brainiest
reward it, but
motherfucker there is.
it
Yeah.
won't.
I'm probably just a bit biased because I actually want Nick to win. I'm probably biased towards it, but yeah, I don't like Hardy's pretty old as well. He probably doesn't have much longer left. But Derek is fucking so young.
28 or something.
Oh, bro, he's going to be there for fucking next. He can, if he wants to, be there for the next fucking almost 10 years. Like,
yeah, it's nuts.
But I see what I was intrigued by was the scorecards, though. It was 2 points. Was it 2 points? I think it was 2 points prejudging Hardy and Derek, and then finals. Hardy got a perfect straight score, and I think Derek was 5
Derek
points.
was perfect twos.
No.
Nick only just got third.
No, but Derek was 5 points behind Hardy's straight points on finals.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, for sure.
So it's just that interesting of like, some people reckon Hardy's not going to take it for a second year, but I see it happen.
Oh, I definitely reckon Hardy has it.
Won the last 2 years.
Yeah. I definitely reckon Hardy can hold it for as long as he wants to stay. But I think it's going to be fucking very tough. But I think Hardy, if he wants to, can hold it for as long as he still wants to compete. But yeah, I think it'll be good to watch fucking Nick, Derek, and Samson in the next few years. It'll be good to watch them together.
And look, Hardy, like you say, like you legitimately make a case for him last year.
I thought he was winning. He won finals.
He won finals
by the score.
So, and then the year before, all right, that was Ramy's best. But Hardy was still consistent as fuck, still peeled, still fucking rock hard. Like, so yeah, Hardy's been the most consistent bodybuilder, except now besides Nick, who's showing that basically every time he turns up, he's in condition now. And now it's just a matter of Derek to build that sort of reputation now that he's in open and just show that what he did at this Olympia wasn't a fluke, which it won't be. He's lives and breathes this shit.
Yeah, he'll be very good. Fucking Derek will keep being very
hard to beat.
He's gonna be very, very hard to beat. Yeah.
But if he doesn't win it, you've got to get through him because he'll be second all day.
Yeah. Jaiden, if you want, I did send a link to Georgia. I just she hasn't seen it, but if you wanted to text her and say.
Yeah, okay. I'll fucking
just text.
Oh, she probably doesn't. Yeah, cool.
And then if Luke jumps back on, he jumps back on. If not, it's all right.
Takes time for Tex to get down to Tasmania too. It's a long way.
That was good.
Like, I'm such a dad, eh? I'm like, this is what everything. Sam is the worst for fucking dad jokes and saying fucking stupid shit, and I love all of them.
Another thing that I wanted to touch on. By the way, I want to give props to you, Jaiden. Like, I'm loving the TikTok. I think you've really taken that by storm. I think a lot of other athletes have done that, and I like what you're doing on there. And the thing that you posted, man, fuck me, that I had me in tears. I had to go show my mom because we're having similar issues with GPs and have for a long time.
All about GP, yeah.
Yeah, man, that TikTok you did about GPs in Australia just being shit cunts, and for real, man, had me in tears. And I just want to touch on that. If you want to explain it real quick to Sam, because I can't remember.
So basically, Sam, I just put up a fucking video about how they're just horrible, man. You can't go to them and you go to them to try and get a blood test, and they won't even give you a fucking blood test. And that was before fucking Medicare cut the budget. So now it's damn near impossible. Well, basically, it's fucking impossible without paying. But we used to be entitled to a few free ones a year or whatever, but it's so hard to get it out of them. You go to them and they're like, oh, well, what's wrong? And you're like, well, nothing, but I want to check that I'm healthy. I take steroids. So oh, well, stop. And you're like, well, me. I remember going to a doctor and I was like, so I'm a competitive bodybuilder. You know, I take anabolics, blah, blah. Like, I just want my blood work done. And he's like, okay, fucking, it gets me to stand on a scale. He's like, oh, I suggest you lose some weight. And I was like, really? And then basically they're all just horrible, man. Like how, you know, you can have low test, and I've got plenty of clients who, you know, they made stupid decisions. They were fucking 17 or whatever. They took SARMs and now their test is fucking 0. And I'm like, cool. Well, look, I know you're only 18, but we're going to do TRT because I want you to have fucking testosterone. And you need it. It's a requirement. So it's going to be a lot healthier for you to sit on a fucking, you know, clinical dosage of TRT or whatever. But at least like, let's go to the doctor, see what they say. And none of them even want to fucking bar of it. They don't want to hear them. Like, but they're happy to just give TRT to any chick that wants to be a boy without even fucking second
That
question.
had me in tears. Or even when you're like fucking, or you know, they're gonna help someone that, you know, does meth or, you know, smokes all the time, but you know, doesn't want to help.
Yeah, that's right. You
or
go to them
someone
with
who needs
fucking lung cancer from smoking, they'll do anything to help you. But if you go to them with fucking low test or bad fucking blood pressure from taking gear, and they're like, oh, fuck you, kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
they're so judgmental, man. Even going to get pins from a chemist, like, they judge the fuck out of you, man. They're like,
I bought once. I will not buy from a chemist again.
yeah, they hate you, bro. You obviously haven't experienced it, Jake, but man, like, so any chemist, it's like a legal thing where they have, like, any chemist will sell you clean fucking sharps pack with a bin and all the fucking shits. And sometimes when you can't make it to the exchange, because the exchange is very like fucking, it's only 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. or whatever. And fucking sometimes if you can't make it, you go to a fucking late night chemist or whatever and get some if you're desperate. And it's like $3 for a bag or whatever. And fucking, but they judge the fuck out of you. And the pharmacist there, they look at you like you're fucking dog shit, bro. Like yeah, bad attitude, bro, real bad. And they're like, so much. I was like, is there still really this much fucking stigma around it? Like, really?
I used to buy online. I went to a chemist once and I'm like, fuck that. So I just used to buy online, get it sent out.
Yeah, I even when I was away just this past week, I ran out while I was in New South Wales, and I was like, okay, well, let's go to just a fucking chemist that I found, and I was like, hey, can I just get some? They do it a bit different down there, but yeah, like, I was just like, can I get some insulin, just the insulin ones, for growth? And then she was like, oh yeah, sure. She was like, okay, that's fine. What are you using it for? Are you diabetic? And I was like, no, I'm not diabetic. She's like, oh, okay, what are you using it for? And I'm like, oh, it's for growth hormone. And then she was like, immediate attitude change. And she was like, yeah, righto, mate. And she was like, whatever. And she's like, basically threw it at me and was like, yeah. Like, I was like, you
Literally
relax.
exactly the experience I had. I went in to buy insulin needles and they're like, what's it for? And I went like, oh, insulin. And they're like, well, have you got a card so I can give you a discount? And I'm like, oh, no. Like, I just want to have the needles to use for insulin. Yeah, she just acted exactly the same as what you just said. Like, it was literally exactly the same.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible, man. But the reason what made me annoyed about it is because I was actually talking to Philippe, the other owner at Rigs, because I train. That's who I train with. Me and Scotty and Philippe, and he wanted to. I think it was him. Was checking his fertility a while ago. He came off everything, checked, and his fertility was 0. He had fucking nothing. He was completely infertile, and he was like, went to the GP. Oh, so he went to an endocrinologist, fucking hormone specialist, and was like, yeah, look, I've got, like, it's fucking 0. Like, can I get some HCG? Because he's from Brazil. HCG, just walk into a chemist and ask for it, they give it to you. Fucking, it's all legal. So he's like, yeah, I just want some HCG to, turn it back on and and see how we go. And then she literally said to him, I'm not giving you HCG, that's what you get. And then he was like, what do you mean? She's like, that's what you get. She's like, if you want to take those drugs, that's what you get for taking it. And then he said to her, he's like, so if a smoker came in and had lung cancer, you would tell them that's what you get and you wouldn't help them. And she's like, yep, that's what I would say. And then he was like,
yeah, right.
And yeah, exactly right. So then he got up and just left. He's like, man, I was so angry. I just left. And And then he said he went to a fertility clinic after that, and then they were just like so happy to help him, like with HCG and everything. But yeah, basic doctor and like hormone specialist, just they don't give a fuck at all, man. They won't help you, and that's what like annoyed me. He was telling me a story. He had another family friend or something that, yeah, basically got their bloods done and their test was 0, or was 1 or some of that. Is fucking ridiculous. Like, and this wasn't someone who trained or anything. It was just like a dude who was just like, you know, fucking through puberty, kind of just very isolated, a lot of anxiety, depression kind of thing. Fucking got his test, yeah, and it was very, very low. And yeah, they were like, wouldn't help him, wouldn't give him TRT or wouldn't help him fucking get it back with anything. So, and it was like, what the fuck, man? Like, this is fucking ridiculous at this point, right? Like, can we fucking do something? We're about 20 years behind the rest of the world in fucking in our like attitude on drugs. It's fucking dumb. Australia is fucking pathetic for it. And that was basically.
I've got the best doctor now. He's cool. I just walk in and go, I want my blood done. He ticks the box, cool, everything cool, checks my blood pressure, asks how the next competition's going. Cool,
yeah, that's cool.
Cool as fuck. No questions.
See, I just be paying, if I want, I tell my clients, like, man, I can't fucking recommend you go anywhere. I'm like, literally just go to iMedical,
and
pay for the fucking sports hormone referral and go get it.
Yeah.
Because that's why I wanted to kind of bring it up, because I remember someone commented or whatever and you replied to it or something, and you know they're saying, oh, you know, isn't there clinics and stuff like that you can go to? But a lot of those clinics, you know, and I know like More Plates, More Dates, he's got some big company he started for that type of stuff, athletes and that. But that shit costs like so much money.
Oh yeah,
and like that's what I'm trying to think. Like,
and you got to have no test. Like you still have to. For legally for them to do it, you still have to come back at like an amount that's not good. Like you still have to take a test and take a blood test. Yeah, you have to have your test very low for them to actually go, oh, okay, yeah, we can prescribe it to you now. And then you're paying fucking $300 a vial or whatever it is anyway.
Because like it's hard. I understand it's because, you know, especially in Australia, you know, all steroids are an A-grade narcotic.
Yeah.
So that, you know, that's obviously why it is so hard. Like, you know, I almost got fined. I had my dad's test on me. Luckily, we had the same last name. So when they checked the packaging, checked my thing, they gave him a call. I called him and they were like, well, don't let this happen again.
Yeah, right. Oh, fuck off.
So I picked it up for him because, you know, he ex-veteran, crippled and stuff. And so
yeah.
I'm driving and all of a sudden he's like, oh, you should be fine. All of a sudden I get pulled over by cops and I'm like, oh, here we go. And I just had it on the thing and they're like, oh, what's that? And I'm like, oh, it's just my dad's test. And they go, what do you mean your dad's test? And they said, show it to me. I'm like, okay. So I grabbed it, give it to him. He goes, can I see your license as well? I was pull out my license and they're looking at it and they're like, Michael Hind. And they're looking at my thing and they're like, Jake Hind. And luckily, you know, my middle name is Michael. So they're looking at Jake Michael Hind and they're like, where's your dad? And I said, he's at home. He's an ex-veteran. Look him up. He wasn't able to, you know, drive. I'm doing this for him. The people at the chemist know me. I come get his stuff all the time. And they're like, well, you know, this is a narcotic drug, A-grade, you know, if it's the name on it, he's like, if it's not the name on it, we have every right to fine you. I'm like, are you serious? And they're like, I'm like, yo, hold up 1 second. So I call my dad because my dad's with the DVA and stuff, which Department of Veterans and stuff. So when they spoke to him on the phone, dad's like fucking losing and he's like, oh, I'll call the DVA. What's your police number? What's this?
Yeah,
and
have a cry, cunt. Fuck me.
And then they gave me the phone back and then dad's like, he should give you the back or I'll fucking come right now. I'm like, it's all right. Hang up, dad. And the cop goes to me and goes, you're lucky this time. If I see it again, if we catch you and it doesn't have your name on it, next time you're getting a fine. I'm like, the fuck?
That wouldn't hold up in court, bro. Fuck off.
Exactly. Like you'll get the fine, but yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. If you went to argue it, it's cost money.
I know.
Yeah.
So
that's the kicker.
Where I was heading was like, I understand that side of it, and you know that's why I guess in, you know, the eyes of GPs, but just in general, like, you know, I've gone to GPs for, 6 years to try and work out a fatigue issue that I have going on, which is not normal for my age. My test's fine, all my bloods, everything is fine, but I still have this fatigue issue and tiredness. And it's just like, they're fucking useless. And so from the bodybuilding point of view, like I understand clinics, but they're so expensive. So surely there's a way that maybe, unfortunate for you, Sam, you found a doctor, and, there are definitely people out there that are really cool and understanding and accepting, open-minded in that regard. But, it's hard. Like you're saying, Jaiden, you haven't been able to find anyone, no one, people, you can't refer your clients to anyone. Surely there has to be a way that we can, I guess, as a community somehow, like, do you think, like, what are ideas that you think that we could maybe work towards that could help these type of issues? Not just simply from a point of view of, just if, we want bloods done, we shouldn't be having to pay like $90-$100 just to get bloods done, just to see, like you're saying, if a smoker or something like that wants to check something.
To get the iMedical one, it's like 180, I think, and that's the cheap one.
That's the one I got from iMedical was 285.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, that's if you want extras and all the fucking good shit. That's actually important as well. But like, there's nothing you can fucking do, man. They completely cut the budget to fucking Medicare. Like, you used to be entitled to like 3 free blood tests. I think Stuart Brooks was telling me about that. He's like, you're entitled to fucking a couple free ones a year. Like, go fucking make them give it to you. But they've cut the budget since, and I've had clients come back to me as well and say like, hey man, the doctor said to me that he cannot give me a referral because he has to justify it if he does that to the government or whoever the fuck he has to justify it to. And he's like, and he can't make a case when the last blood test I did, my test was low, but it wasn't below the range. So the range for like, I think it's the nanograms or whatever, is like 300 to 1,000 or something. And his was like 400. So it was like, that's low for a fucking 20-year-old male, but it's like, he's like, your last one was in range, so I can't justify letting you have another one.
Well, let's even get outside of anabolics and stuff. I went and did all that heart stuff. Like me going in to check my heart with no symptoms.
Yeah.
They were fucking blown away. They're like, I said, look, it runs in the family. Through the 40s, I find people are having heart attacks in my family, and fucking distant relatives have unfortunately passed around this age bracket. I want to do all this. So when they went through, like, to do the stress test where you run on the treadmill hooked up to the machine, they wouldn't do that unless I paid. They're like, are you having any heart palpitations? I'm like, no. They go, do you have pain? Are you stressed? And she was asking quite aggressive, like, in case there was something wrong right now. And I'm like, no, I'm fucking sweet, eh? And she's like, oh, well, then you can't do the test. What? And she's like, no, we can't do the test. So they ultrasounded me and then send me to another specialist. And then he can then override that decision and say, give him a free test if they spot things. And because the calcium score was high, he's like, yeah, and he overrides it, and I was allowed to have a free test.
Right.
So that's just to check your heart and stuff. And then, when it turns out, he's like, fuck, your calcium's like astronomically high. Like, it's not good. And that's because it runs in the family. But because I look after myself, my fitness level's still so high, it keeps me in a low risk factor. But if you just look at the numbers on the chart with that calcium score, that there alone would make you think you're dead within a couple of years. But they weren't going to stress test me because I don't have any symptoms. So the only way,
it's hard enough now to
because my calcium scores
to see that.
My calcium scores, it's such an extreme risk. They need to do the stress test, and they go, cool, your fitness level's so high it drops that risk down. Now you're actually in the low risk, even with a high calcium score. But without the stress test, they would have just looked at the numbers and gone, you're dead, son.
Yeah, that's right. And like, to even get a fucking test now, to test for that, like fucking calcium and stuff, that would be damn near impossible, bro. Yeah. Because you need to have, they don't want to help you unless you're fucked.
It's like the coppers. When someone's trying to break into my house, well, has anyone hurt you yet? No. Well, call us when they do. That's how doctors are. They're like, we come to us when something goes wrong.
That's right, man. Even when I got those blood tests actually done, he took my blood pressure while he was there. I hadn't done any work on my blood pressure. I hadn't checked it myself. I was taking more gear than I had before. And I was quite watery. My blood pressure was 180 over 70. And he was like, but because it was over 70, like it was low there, so it wasn't too bad. But he's like, that's getting quite extreme up there. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, look, fucking. He's like, I suggest you stop using anabolics and lose some weight. Again, this is a different doctor that again told me to lose weight. I was like, right, well, those things aren't, the good solutions. Like I know that's on paper the right thing to do, but that doesn't fit with my fucking life, obviously.
Yeah.
That's like telling if a fucking vegan goes to a dietitian and says, and they're low in iron, they say, yeah, you need more meat. You're a fucking idiot. That's not how that works. So yeah, anyway, said that to me. And then I was like, well, look, I can fucking like, should I start taking some telmisartan? Because like, obviously low blood pressure, like lower the blood pressure. And he was like, no, I don't want to prescribe that to you. I was like, you just told me my blood pressure is almost severe and you don't want to give me blood pressure medication. He's like, yeah, because once you start taking it, you have to keep taking it. I was like,
that's the only problem with telmisartan. Once you start, you don't stop.
I feel like you definitely can, but it's not going to be in my competitive career, no. And I was like, well, I'm not sitting with my fucking blood pressure at 180. So I was like, I'm going to get some if you're not going to prescribe it to me. And then he's like, and he just wouldn't do it. So I was like, all right. So I fucking went on instant scripts, and on the drive home, I got some. I was like, fucking.
Yeah. Instant scripts, I don't know.
But yeah. Oh, don't you? Oh, bro, it's literally an app, and you can just type in the drug. That's like not something that's hardcore like prescription, but like very basic prescription stuff. So I get metformin and telmisartan prescribed through instant scripts. Costs $15 because it's a telehealth consultation, but you don't call anyone. You just answer a few questions, and it's basically like you answer them right, and it's like, okay, yep, you need this medication.
Nice little loophole.
And then it's like, yeah, and then you get it prescribed. So I bought, it was like 120 pack of metformin. It was like $5.
Yeah, there you go.
Too bad.
Just go to the chemist. They send, as soon as you do it, they text you your prescription. They just text it to you, and you fucking open it up. They scan
My doctor texted
and they
me.
go, cool.
Yeah.
Fucking here. Yeah, and they just go, fucking cool, here it is. So I was taking, metformin off season, and that's how I knew real metformin. I didn't have to pay through the fucking nose to get it.
Yeah.
It's interesting in the regard that, like, we talk about Australia and we got, the healthcare and Medicare, and, our healthcare is so good, and that's why it's better living over in Australia than America and, other European countries. But then, in regards, their GPs and stuff like that is so much better over there compared to here. Like, why is it, why is it so backwards like that? It's weird. Like, surely there's some way that
Australia... They have a lot more HRT over there as well.
What's that?
Yeah, they have a lot more HRT clinics in America as well, especially like Texas and stuff like that are really good for it. Yeah, if you've seen, there's another guy on TikTok who's a men's physique guy, and he's sponsored by Transcend.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He's fucking quite popular. But yeah, like Transcend, they're fucking great. They prescribe all that. He gets pure IGF-1 off them.
Yeah, I think Nick Walker's sponsored by them, or he did something with them too.
Yeah, it could have been, man. They would have been fucking supplying him with IGF-1. Like,
look, I mean, anyone who's getting paid sponsorship dollars, anyone in that top 10, if they're not being sponsored by clinics like that, they're paying to go see them, because you need to know that what you're using is fucking real.
Yeah.
And then when you check your bloods, it's getting read by someone who's legit going over everything,
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
So, yeah, you would pay. Look, they're probably not cheap. There are clinics here, and they're not fucking cheap.
No, not at all.
You've got to be sort of one of the rare few that they'll actually let in and see.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's right. It's
I
a
don't.
lot easier in the States.
yeah, in the States,
All
way
a lot easier in fucking a lot easier in UK where it's all just fucking legal anyway.
Yeah, it's
You
interesting.
know people in Europe that just buy, they just go to the chemist and buy what they want.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, bro. It's funny as fucking when I was at the gym, Philippe showed me a fucking photo of it. It was like a photo of a chemist in Brazil, and it literally had a sign outside, and it was like in store, and it was like literally like human growth hormone tests, Deca, like, and it was like, and then
Yeah, guy I know,
all
he's
these other
Moroccan.
pharmaceuticals and stuff for that. But yeah,
Yeah, guy I know, he's Moroccan. Same thing. You walk in, one bottle test cypionate, cool, $20. They walk out.
That's funny.
fuck that.
Yeah,
I hope.
and look, here's the thing: you look at the countries that are like that, and people don't abuse it. Look at the countries that are lackadaisical with weed, and look at Amsterdam. People aren't robbing one another to get drugs, or to get money because you're allowed to just go buy it. It's there.
It's exactly right, man.
It's human nature. When you get told you can't do something, it makes you want to do it more.
Do it.
Yeah, and that's why Australia is 20 fucking years behind on every type of fucking legislation in terms of restricted ingredients, supplements, whatever.
Hopefully, somehow we can, I guess they start to catch up. There's some maybe somehow we can get some type of, like, I don't know, support in that regard, that in the coming years. So, stuff like this is a lot easier.
Is the issue. It's just not letting up, it's getting fucking worse is the issue.
You got to get everything through the TGA as well.
Yeah, they're getting harsher on it. You're now like very, very rare you can get stuff in from overseas now as well. Like they just put in new scanners all through the fucking airports and like Sydney customs and stuff, where it's like basically impossible to get anything through now. So you're even getting less shit come in.
There you go.
Tough. Means just gotta go overseas. Gotta live over
Yeah,
there.
fucking over this place, mate. Fucking over it.
Pack my kids up. I'll go to Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Sick of it. But yeah, fucking. What's your prep going like at the moment, Sam? You fucking still cruising nice and easy?
It's good, man. We did a check-in. Well, yeah, bit of a fright. We did a check-in yesterday. So we skin folded at 45 mil. Last prep, when I was at 45 mil, I'm 4 kilos heavier this time.
Yeah, good as.
So, that's fucking good. We've held that 4 kilo heavier weight on every single check-in so far. So, and then last time we were 45 mil, we were about 10 weeks out versus 15 weeks this time. So we're in front. We're good. Everything's good. We're dropping nice and easy with just going for about 12,000 steps a day. I just put the Stairmaster in starting today, just doing 10 minutes training days. So it's coming off with low stress, no drugs, nothing to, everything's low. Everything's good.
Yeah, no ancillaries yet. Yeah.
It's fucking great. So obviously keep it like that for as long as possible. And if you never use those things at the end of prep, well, that's even better. If they're there and you only need them for 2 or 3 weeks, just to, then that's much better than running things for 12 weeks, So everything's good. We had a bit of a scare yesterday in the leg press, though. Something gave out in the side of my leg, popped pretty loud, and there was a lot of pain. So we just, it immediately was a bit of a freak out because it felt like something ripped, like something exploded in my leg, man. It was fucking bad. So
is there any man, honestly, like it's so fucking easy to tell. It's like if there's no bruising, there's no tear.
Well, that was it. The immediate reaction, like it was a lot of pain. And I was like, fuck, what have we done? And I'm like, all right, well, let's just do what we can. So I finished with some calves and stuff, and that was the end of the quad session. But then, and as last night went on, it was hurting, but not. Yeah, I was starting as the day went on yesterday, and as today's gone on, something's just popped. Something's just let go, but I don't think anything's torn. I don't think, give it a week and you won't even know.
No, that's right, man. I did the exact same thing a few weeks ago. Fucking doing heaviest squat of hacks. Felt a pop on the left side of no, my lateralis, and just I was like right up high. I was like, fuck, that hurt immediately. Couldn't do legs for the rest of the session. Next day couldn't squat on it, like couldn't body weight, like bend my knee at all. And then fucking 5 days later it was completely healed.
Well, literally the point you described, that's exactly where it happened to me. Up
Yeah.
high on the lateralis on the left side.
Must have done the same thing.
Same thing. Like I can't do a body weight squat because it doesn't like being under load, but I can bend
That's right.
my leg and do anything and walk normal. And so walking up the stairs at home hurts a bit. So
Yeah,
I thought
that's
I'd get the
hard.
Stairmaster because that's traveling under you. You're not physically pressing up. And I could do the Stairmaster easy. So I did just 10 minutes on that. So as the day's gone on, I'm not concerned anymore. But yeah, when it first popped, I think a bit of shit coming out. I was not happy.
Yeah. It'll just be a strain. It'll just be a strain, man. Because remember, a strain is just like stretching it right to its limit, but not past, or slightly past its limit, but with no tearing. That's all it would have been. Fucking the exact same thing happened to Nick Weir a fucking week after it happened to me.
Yeah, right. Look, and look, I get deep in the hole on a leg press too. So you're fully loaded. Like me and Logan had maybe 9-10 plates aside on there, and my heels were in my butthole. Like you're fucking full load. Yeah, so it's pop. It happens. But like, as soon as it happened, like Logan's like, well, what do we do? I'm like, look, if it turns out it's torn, I'll fucking just put the food up and turn this into a bulk, and we'll do season B. Like it's not hard. Nothing.
There's still
nothing
like
stresses me out. But now
you'd be
this far out, having a week off of quads ain't gonna do shit.
No.
So
look, you have a week off. Next week you do it light, and then the week after you go back at fucking 75%, and then you're fine after that.
Exactly. But look, we're 4 kilos up, which puts me around about the 86 on stage. But we want to be a bit tighter than last time. So if I could be 83, 84 on stage, leaner than last time, that's everything we ever dreamed of.
You definitely sound like you're on track.
You definitely are. I'm going to be very confused or interested to see what my weight's going to end up doing, because I want to be leaner than last time. But the only reason I wasn't as lean as what I wanted is because I was very flat. And when I go flat, I go very watery.
Yeah.
So you know what it's like when you're flat. You lose all your lines. And I was fucking flat. So, if I come in fuller, I'll look a lot leaner. But that's not gonna. So I want to be leaner, but I don't think that's going to translate in weight. I think I'm going to have to be a bit heavier to be leaner.
Yes, it's weird. When I'm flat, I don't lose any lines. If anything, my lines are deeper.
I know. You just don't look as round, but I just
look smaller. Yeah.
But you stay very crispy. See, I go fucking soft as soon as I look really good when I'm full. I'm like grainy and hard, and then I lose all that grain as soon as I get flat. That grain it's gone.
Yeah, wow. So you go, we're like complete opposites.
Yeah, I look washed out. As soon as I go flat, I get washed out. I lose all the deep lines, because I have very deep lines everywhere. Like my quads stay deep, but lose all the striations in my shoulders, my abs. I lose the deep like ab fucking lines, and my obliques wash away. Yeah, it's crap.
How many weeks is it? 15?
Yeah, 15 yesterday. Oh, yeah. Sorry, 15 today.
You're still like the thing that you posted today of like last prep, and then the 2 days you posted how you're looking now. You're definitely looking a lot bigger.
Who, me?
Oh, no, Jaiden.
Oh, Jaiden, yeah, he is.
I think I think so, man. It's always hard to tell with me, because my weight is never a fucking like relative factor that helps at all. I was talking to another guy about this today. Like, it's just my weight's always fucking stupid, so I can never tell if I'm bigger or not. But I feel like I am. I feel like I've just gone a bit thicker, and I think it's a little bit of an age thing. I've definitely trained harder this off season and pushed myself harder. I've got a lot stronger. Like, I've made a lot of strength gains in a short period of time. But yeah, I think it's a little bit of an age thing. Like when you're like fucking 18 to 21, it's like you can improve obviously, but it's just different. Like it's just soft muscle. And you can get bigger, but it still just looks soft. But I find as each year I'm getting the muscle I put on ends up being a lot harder. And it's looking better. That's me.
But you are.
Right.
You're
I've
up.
literally had seasons that I've not changed weight, but I'm bigger. Just because of
that's right.
and stuff. It's fucking, but you look at the scales, you're like, nothing's same. But you put the two photos together, it's way bigger.
Like I know this is like 19 weeks out, apparently. And this is, like you're saying 6, but your upper body still looks to be fuller. And I understand, you're a lot leaner here, but you still seem to be keeping, somewhat of a decent composition here. So that's what I mean. Like, even though your weight hasn't changed, you're still, I think the size has increased.
Yeah, my weight's definitely, it is still up. Like I am 5 kilos heavier this prep than I was last prep. But I am not as lean as when I started. But yeah, I've definitely made solid improvements on my quads. They've come up a bit.
That picture you posted of your quads, they were looking a lot bigger. And
I think they are for sure. And it's just because again, like my strength has just gone through the roof this off season with it. But I think as well, like front to back, I've improved a bit as well, like just chest to back thickness. And I brought up my arms a bit. So I think that'll translate. You didn't even get all the good shit on Sam's page, mate. You need to be in the fucking close friends story to see all the juicy updates.
Oh, is that what I'm missing out on?
No, well these are.
Oh, I know. I am in Sam's close friends list.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, but that so like the side tricep there, that goes in the close friends, but then 2 weeks later goes on the wall.
Yeah.
But that one I put up today.
Yeah.
That is legitimately today because I just wanted to. It's the end of the year, and I'm like, well, here am going to end.
Your quad just pops out in that side, like
you're looking way bigger, man, than fucking last.
Look at that.
Honestly, like last season, bro. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, I didn't notice. I didn't notice anything crazy until we were right close to the show. But also, I don't think you posted much. But I wasn't really even paying attention much to what you were doing. I was like, oh yeah, cool. And then I fucking saw you like a few weeks out, and I was like, holy fucking shit, he's peeled. And then you won fucking nationals, and I was like, and then after that, it was like a lot more. I think a lot more people were watching you after you fucking won nationals. It was like, all right, like this isn't just the fucking funny guy from the gym anymore. This is like,
it felt like that, to be honest.
No, 100%. Like this prep and like what you've been posting on the updates, completely different. Like I remember, I think I started paying a lot of attention when you were doing that prep, and you explained it was somewhat solo, and then you had Anna Marie help you a bit. Like when you compare that now, how you're looking now compared to like back then, completely different. Your physique is a lot more. And you've shown it with the last time you were on stage, like a lot more filled out, and I think that's why you won. So that's why being in even a better position this time, like saying 4 kilos up, 15 weeks out, 45 mils, and that was you 10 weeks. You're primed to, I see you in the first call out again.
Yeah, if we don't get the first call out, I'm fucking retiring. Now, whether you win or not,
man, I 100% see coming back for
to the first call out's the best 6 in your weight class. Like
top
my height.
I see you winning, but it depends who's in the weight class. You never know.
I mean, winning's so different. But I definitely would go first call out. Yeah, like that's
you're definitely going to be in contention for first place in under 90. You're going to be in contention for first place for sure.
That's it.
It'll be nice to see if fucking Stan ends up doing it and sucks down to under nose, but I don't think he's going to do it.
That's probably your biggest challenge. And we would only meet each other at nationals anyway.
That's right.
And that's a good battle. I like that one. I think it's cool because he gets that really paper thin skin. You know,
He does, yeah.
like I can probably outshape him. It would be a conditioning war.
Yeah.
Who can get lean?
Fucking peeled, man. Like, yeah, you get really peeled. You're one of the most conditioned guys at that show, for sure.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, it was good. It was good. If we can get tighter than that, then and that's what else can you do? You stand next to someone with more muscle and everything, and they win a bodybuilding contest. You're like, oh well, fair play. But if you can beat them on shape,
it was fucking at that show. It was fucking you, George, Cam, and fucking Jaiden Riggs were the most peeled guys in the fucking.
I agree with
Cam
that.
and George were on another level.
Yeah, that's really impressive for George. Like a junior being probably like the second most conditioned guy at the whole show is that's
wild.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah,
to have baby muscle still get that condition is like.
But
that's Dean working his magic. His guys are always peeled.
Yeah, and I think it's like what gave them their secret recipe is what we're doing this time. They were ready in advance, so they were show ready at 5 or 6 weeks out. So here, have some food, guys. Have some food. Do your training, and so now you live at that low percentage so long with a little bit more food in you. You can pick the food all the way back up to 3,000 calories. It's still a deficit.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so you just over the next 5, 6 weeks here, have some food and just let the skin just shrink around, just pull tight, have a little bit more food without gaining body fat. And that's what we're going to do this time. And I think that was their recipe. Is they started their preps in better shape. They did their preps for longer and they got ready earlier and then lived in the suck a little bit longer. Sure, but you know,
I still think that's somewhat.
That's what I should have done as well. I should have done the exact same thing. I was peeled at 8 weeks out. Like I was so at 8 weeks out, but we kept pushing, just to get more condition, and it just overdieted, I think. But yeah, if I fed up that last week, if I fed up, it would have been a completely different look for me.
Yeah, that's easy to do.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I agree that does seem to be, the best way. And, a lot of it shows when people do that, but it's like not falling in that hole of then getting trapped in the over dieting and not being able to keep
pushing. Keep pushing. They want to see conditioning. I'll show them conditioning. Yeah. You just fucking keep going, but you're actually making it worse.
Because that was the thing that was the thing that happened with, like, Ian Valier was saying, and he was very disappointed. He was aiming so hard to get those glutes peeled that it then ended up fucking him over with the rest of his physique because he just wasn't able to fill out because he made his glutes too peeled.
We see it all the time in the amateurs, man. People want their glutes peeled. It's like, okay, fine, let's get your glutes in, but now we can't fill your upper body up. There's nothing we can do. And I think that's one of the things. I think George could have got a second if he had been a bit bigger, and I bet you he could have been a bit bigger if he wasn't if he was just 1% less peeled. He could have got more food in, and he still was the leanest under 90 on stage. Yeah, and he would have overtaken Lucky Singh in second for sure. So it's a wild game. You want to get that lean, like that's cool, and it's better than cool. It's fucking wild. But then you run the risk: can we get food back in you and fill you up? Like, is your body going to even let any of it stick, or are we just going to shit it all out?
Does anybody?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got to be very careful.
Does anybody know? Is George? I know it doesn't seem like he's doing season 8. Will he maybe be doing?
He lives season 8.
Yeah, I talked to him today. Yeah.
He hasn't really said anything.
He looks good, man. He looks healthy. He looks good. He's looking pretty big too, and I think he's just about to start an off-season push in the new year. So I think he'll do all right. Again, for a young dude, I think he's gonna do all right.
Yeah, he's got good potential, man, for sure. And if I don't fucking fall in in the heavyweight system. I'm either gonna fall in the heavyweights and end up versing Luke and Louis, or I'm maybe in the super heavyweights and end up with fucking Mike Calusi. So either way,
But is he doing the Queensland show?
Pardon?
Is he doing the Queensland show? I thought he might do the Melbourne show.
He'll end up doing Melbourne, but either way, I mean, it's a fucking versing
Yeah,
the Nationals.
Yeah.
It'd be like, it's funny because like, I want to stand next to him. Like, you want to stand next to him to be like, to compare myself and be like, oh fuck, I'm actually not that far behind or whatever. But also, I'll be like, what if I am that far behind and the photos are fucking embarrassing?
That's the worst part, man. Is I don't know if I'm ready for the news.
That's right.
It hurts, man, but it's going to be a good season. You know, Louis wants redemption. He missed the mark in that last show. So if he comes in condition, everyone knows his shape's pretty hard to beat. If it comes,
he looks fucking massive at the moment.
Who's this?
He look big, Louis.
Oh, I was talking to him. Yeah, I was talking to him, and I was saying, like what you're just saying with that last show. I think I was trying to say to him, he with his conditioning, it's like Huddy. Adam always used to bring him in really flat. Adam always used to say, like, you know, I get him peeled, and, you know, with Louis' physique and that, I have to hit on the flat side. But what it did was it stopped him from being, you know, a bit too full. And, you know, he had issues back then with being so bottom heavy. But then, you know, Ross ended up bringing him too full, especially at nationals. And so that's why he didn't make that top three. And
Ross
I was saying,
had to play a generic card, like okay, cool, we peel you down, now let's fill you up. But like you were just saying, Adam used to bring him in flat because, you know, Adam did know him as much as fucking no one likes him. He did know him and knew that he needed to be flat. Ross just didn't know that.
And that's why I said, I think, and because I was saying to him, like, now that you're not so bottom heavy and you are a lot fuller in the upper body, I think if you can just find that perfect balance where you're on that line of you're flat, but you're not, and you can keep the roundness, and you have that conditioning that, you know, Adam was helping you bring in, I see you, you know, hitting the mark like you want to be.
Yeah. I 100% think if he comes in peeled and, you know, holds some of the size that he's rebounded with, he will fucking just win heavyweights again. Yeah. I don't see him being beaten other than but I say that, but then also I see fucking updates of Luke and I'm like, fucking Luke's just so dense, bro. And I'm like, I can honestly also see Luke blowing past all of us and also winning just because he's so fucking dense. And I'm like, man, I was like, and you never see yourself. So I'm like, are these guys just fucking blowing past me? Like, what the fuck?
It's hard because, like, whoever said, I don't know who posts something like that, but yeah, he's like did the reference to Dorian Yates, but he does. He's got such dense muscle, and it's been really interesting that, you know, like all of you guys are in such better, like these. It really is like the more you prep, the more years go by, you keep getting in better positions. You know, none of you hit your stride, none of you have hit your prime. You're getting closer and closer, and, you know, it's very, very exciting to see. And it's just, you know, I think you're all slowly in weight, or definitely in way better positions compared to, you know, the few years back.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking super interesting. Whether I'm in heavyweights or not, like if I end up in heavyweights, it's gonna be just as hard to stand next to fucking those two guys as anyone else. And then there's gonna be some other freaky dudes that I fucking don't even know about yet that are gonna be in it as well.
Definitely.
There's always
some fucking dude from New South Wales or something pops up. You know, who the fuck is this? But yeah, like
I think
it's gonna be very hard.
You know, back to Louis and, you know, about Mike too. I'm interested, especially now if Louis does hit that conditioning, you know, because he lost to Mike in that overall, and Adam calls bullshit on that. But, you know, in that regard, Mike was a bit more balanced, where, you know, Louis does have that balance now. And I know Mike has made, you know, Dean's made Mike jump lengths. Like, he's a completely different physique now. But it'll be interesting to see, you know, how him and Louis stack up if Louis hits the mark. Like, will Mike stick head, or will Louis take the jump?
I think it'll be a lot closer, but Mike is so dense, bro.
And he gets peeled. Like, look, if Louis improves and gets the conditioning he did with Adam, he's fucking hard to beat for anyone. Like, even if I out condition him, and we're equal-ish shapes, he wins the size war, so he wins the bodybuilding contest. Mike might not have as good a shape, but he wins the
He can
size
get it.
war and the conditioning war. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Mike
a
is
lot to
huge.
overcome.
Mike is looking at being fucking around 120-ish on stage.
That's right. And
Like,
and
that is
he
that,
has skin.
and that 3D look on stage will translate. Like, you got to remember when they stand to the side, he's fucking half a meter thicker than everyone,
Yeah.
and
A lot of men.
that's what'll translate. But yeah, Louis very, very hard to beat in his shape in
Mm.
general. Like, he has the best shape out of anyone in the whole show, like hands down.
Mm.
No one has better shape than him there. But yeah, if he comes in with the type of size that fucking he's brought, he's going to be very, very hard to beat. But
He's just got to out condition Mike, and that's the hard part. That's the
that's
fight.
the hard part, because Mike is so conditioned, and Mike is
You got to out condition him, you know. And I mean, look, who beat Mike last time was fucking David Federlaser down in
Dave
Adelaide.
Belly,
He outsized him and said, "Look, I'm not
he
going to
did.
out condition you. I'll out fucking size you." So none of us
But he
can obviously
outsized him
do
by a
that.
lot.
Yeah, none of us can do that. None of us can outsize fucking
Not
Mike.
all.
We have to out condition him, and
And that's just as fucking hard. Yeah.
fuck, man, like fuck.
He's fucking, where he looks like he's made of cement, and he's got a fucking 100,000 veins that run across him. Like, it's very hard to look like you're more conditioned than him. So for someone that's 120 kilos, it's very hard to be fucking bigger than him as well. So the only thing you're going to beat him on is shape, but if he's too conditioned and too big,
Yeah, he's still ticking two of the criterias over the three.
two of the major criteria. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I can outshape Mike, that's fine. But you're smaller than him and less conditioned. You know, so it's like, all right, well, let's say I match him in conditioning. Somehow we get it the best it's ever been. I'm still fucking 30 kilos or more smaller than him.
That's right, man. Even as a fucking super heavyweight, I could
do?
fucking outshape him. But as a fucking super heavyweight, he could still be another fucking 20 kilos heavier than me. Like, that's gonna show, man. And he's fucking shorter than me. Like, that.
He's got he would most likely be the favorite going in to win the Pro this season.
Especially
I'd say so.
Yeah, he would have to be. You'd be silly not to. He's been in it the longest. I mean, you got to remember, we're watching pros come up when Sam won it, and Aaron won it, and Logan went overseas to win it. And fucking, these guys were competing for 10 years here and building and growing and all taking in turns of who's next in line. Since Rona, we've sort of lost a lot of that, you know. And now it's sort of happening again. You're next in line at who's competed the most, who's legitimately the best bodybuilder going around. That is Mike. You know,
and Mike's in the good books with Tony now as well. Like, they're fucking they're cool together now. So that's important too. You know, we can't all be fucking Callum and turn pro in our second fucking show.
No, that's it. So look, Lewis will get his turn. He'll turn pro. It's gonna happen.
It's just,
it's inevitable.
It's just, you know, that just sometimes we've just got to wait for somebody else to win it first before you get your turn. You know.
Yeah, it's that thing of, like, you know, we only have two chances a year to win your pro card, so it really is waiting your turn. You know, not as opportunity based like other areas in the world to, you know, have more opportunity where we don't have to wait so long. You know, wait your turn, but
that's it. And people are sort of. I get friends and supporters saying stuff about me, and I was like, look, I know how this game works, man. I ain't jumping over these guys. Yeah. I won one show. Come on. You gotta, you know, we gotta show that you're able to do that
again.
Yeah. You got to do repeated efforts, before they go like, oh wow, this cunt's actually really good. You know, you did a good job.
And Louis have both been those guys. Mike and Louis have both been those guys that come every year. They fucking win every single year. Like, they've shown that they're the fucking real deal. You know. I've said to a lot of people that I think for myself, like, the end of 2024, so having like an 18-month off season, I think that end of 2024 a bit more of a serious contention for me. But yeah, this one I'm just like going into fucking basically do better than this year, and I'll be fucking happy. But end of 2024, I think it's gonna be a better contention for me because it'll be closer to like 110, 112 on stage. But that's all, yeah.
And look, I was posing with Michael Galley and Logan the other day, and you know, Galley's a judge, and he's like, "We want to see improvement." So you turning up better than last time, they note that shit.
Yeah.
They pay attention, you know, and it's like they reward that. Oh, okay. You can jump a spot. You keep getting better. Every time I see you, you're better. And like that's a big criteria for these judges, especially IFBB. Like IFBB, we know how extreme the fucking Olympia is. Like you're never gonna make it if you have 2 years the same. Sorry, you just did 2 years. You look the same. You're never gonna make the Olympia. Sorry, bro. You're out.
But I think it's a big thing, like you're saying. You know, you got to really, in some way, pay your dues. Show up year after year. Show that you're improving. Show that you're winning, and then that's going to put you in that contender of, okay, is it your year? Yes or no?
Yeah, and look, if you legitimately turn up and pull a cam and just blow the wheels off everyone, well, then you get the trophy. It's not like they're going to say, "Wow, you legitimately smoked everyone." Sorry, it wasn't your turn.
Yeah,
but when you look at reality, it looks like, say, in this season, reality is people like the Mikes, the Louis, the Stans, and then myself. So you've got to sort of go, well, all right, I have to either legitimately blow people's wheels off or just be okay with, like, do your fucking best, turn up, show everyone that you are a legitimate contender so that you earn that conversation.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, up to you guys. It's been a long one. But
I'm hungry.
I should probably get going.
Yeah, I thought we could either do one question or wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Do one more.
Kind of got all distracted with all the talking, so I didn't get any of the fun questions in. So
yeah, go for one. Yeah, sure.
I saw this one. I liked it, and it really made me think. Would you rather never get the common cold or never be stuck in traffic?
Man, okay.
Traffic, frustrating.
Is it simple as like me getting the current cold in my state right now and who I am, or is it like a specific fixed, you will be this amount of sick every time, or is it just I get the cold? Because I would take that every day of the week. And is it also like you get a cold at a certain rate, or is it just at your current rate you do now? Because I get it like never.
No. So it's like I guess it's just okay. If you get the common cold, like every 6 months or every 9 months or every 2 months or every 3 months, and it's just your whole life. Like, so would you rather go the rest of your life never getting cold, never getting head cold, never getting sniffly nose, anything like that, or would you just rather never your whole life never be stuck in traffic?
Never, no traffic.
Yeah.
No,
$1 million.
If I get a cold now, I kill that shit in 24 hours. My
body every bodybuilder, every single bodybuilder that eats, we eat fucking 800 grams of carbs. Do you think we got the fucking energy to just burn through a fucking cold in half a day?
I'm sick for a day. I'll wake up tomorrow morning. I'm fucking 75% better. I'm good to go.
Yeah, 100%.
Traffic,
3 days.
Traffic
3 days
ages
from
me.
start to gone. Yeah,
traffic ages me, man. I get real fucking. I get grumpy. I get grumpier in traffic than I do in prep.
For reals, I don't have road rage, but like it makes me want to have road rage. I can't stand traffic.
Fuck nah.
Yeah,
that was an easy one.
You get everywhere like in half the time. It's amazing.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Maybe I should have asked people that don't burn through colds in 24 hours.
I'm like, cold said a chance for me, fucking test and growth, fucking poo that shit out.
Immediately.
Even like a flu, man. Even a flu. There's just 24 hours where you're just smashed, and then I'll start getting better.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
I'm jealous.
And like it's genuinely like we have so many fucking like superfoods in us that as soon as you fucking get sick, it just goes, man. It's just fucking It's gone.
And you get
Yeah.
clients, they're like, they take a week off and then even they come back for a week and they're still sick, but then that reboots it back in, so they get sick and have a week off again. I'm like, I don't understand. I can't compute what's going on here. My brain just doesn't identify it.
It's because when they get sick, they give up on everything and you just fucking you do nothing. Like I sleep a lot, but like that's exactly right. You'd be like, wake up, oh fuck, I'm sick. All right, let's try and get a meal in, and then you fucking smash all your vitamins and your normal morning routine, have your greens and everything, and you sleep for another fucking 8 hours that day, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I think that's the other big thing too, is if I do have a flu, even though there's only 24 hours where I'm really fucking bad, I'll gladly take a week off gym. I'll be like, I'm not going.
Oh, 100%.
I just get better, bro.
Yeah.
My whole goal is to train at 100%. And I can't
right.
train at 100% if I drag this cunt out for a month and I'm 50% incapacitated. If I take a week off and then I'm back 100%, that's all I care about.
Yeah, you're the same as me. Immediately, I didn't even hesitate. I'm like, I'm not going to gym for the rest of the week. Like immediately, like
done.
It serves no purpose. Like I'm not going to get anything out of, especially when you train as hard and serious as we do. We're not going to get anything out of a fucking 75% session. Like it's not going to do a fucking thing for us if we're not going balls to the wall. And I can only facilitate that if I'm at 100%. And if I try to go balls to the wall, I'm not 100%. That's just going to set me back for longer because it's just accruing fatigue for no benefit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I just did
fucking shit.
I just did a deload week, and I like trained 3 times, and I was just like, next time I do a deload, I'm not even going to train. I hated being in the gym. The first time I ever
take a week off. Yeah.
I'm like, I can't even do what I want to do. I can't do my numbers. I can't do anything. This is fucking dumb.
Yeah, bro. I'm the same. I don't even know.
Powerlifters don't train for a week before they go to a meet.
Yeah.
All these people are convinced. They're like, man, I can tell when I take a week off, I'm so weak. And I'm like, if I take a week off, I PB everything. What are you talking about? Powerlifters, the people whose their life motto is be strong.
Yeah.
Before they go to their meet where they're meant to be their strongest, they take a week or more off.
Just to recover.
Just to make sure everything's good. Like there's people they're getting their head a bit too much.
Definitely.
This bodybuilding thing's not as complicated as what they make it out to be.
Yeah, I don't fucking I'm the exact same. We don't need a deload. If I'm like, I was feeling when I was doing like the heavy weeks that Justin had me on, I'd get to that 3rd week of like the real heavy shit, and I wasn't even going. I was like, I did 1 day, and I was like, I'm not going the rest of the week. I went into the chest day, and then I was like, I'm having the rest of the week off. I didn't even go, and it's like so much better.
Yeah, I love it. I love a week off. I haven't had one. Look, obviously we're not going to now, but after the show in April, for about a month, I just I float in and out the gym, and I train, and I just sort of pick stuff up because the joints are kind of sore. Like, for a month or so after the comp.
I enjoy training after to get a like good pump just for fucking like social media and shit. But other than that, I'm not trying to fucking push any weight.
Me and Cam went and trained down in Melbourne after Nationals, and we didn't push very hard, man.
Just enjoying it.
Yeah.
No reason.
No reason. Your body's been for the last 12 weeks before the show. There's a lot of stress, going on. The body just
you're not gonna fucking. No, you can't have a fucking couple cheat meals and then all of a sudden be in a fucking in your body be in a position to fucking grow. Like it's not going to happen. You just fucking.
I ate a pizza, put 10 plates on leg press, bro.
And
fucking
body reps.
It's not. Yeah, it's not going to fucking happen. You just you feel like shit for the next 2 months. Yeah.
And I think that's hard with the newbies. With the just like they want to. All through prep, they're like, I can't wait to be strong again. I just want to eat and lift again. I miss being strong. It's like, look, once the show's over, it's coming, but it's 6 or 8 weeks, man. It does take a while to get full strength back and full appetite and full, even desire to want to go through it again. It takes time. And no, man, I'm keen. Yeah. They go out, they have 2 days, 3 days, just non-stop junk food. and then the ankles are blown out, they can't train, and then they get frustrated in themselves. You go, cool, look, that's all fine, but now you know for next time. When you binge afterwards, don't go so hard. And then when you go back in the gym afterwards, don't go so hard. Like, let it build. And then you have an off season. And then that off season behaves like a prep. It's 16 weeks of being on cycle, maximum food, maximum effort, and you grow like fuck in that 16 weeks because you had 6 or 8 weeks getting your shit back. It's we got to sort of know when to back. Sometimes everyone's like, embrace the grind, go hard, go hard. Well, sometimes going hard is doing the hardest thing of all, and that's backing off. Because we always want to go hard.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes you got to do the hardest thing of all, and that's go through a health phase, back off a bit, get your shit sorted, and then fucking explode when it's time.
100%. Well, I'll let you boys go. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Always. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good
Peace.
year.
100%. Yeah,
Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Same,
happy
man.
New Year.